Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ordinary Humans, Extraordinary Choices, the podcast to explore ordinary humans who've made extraordinary choices in periods of their life, hosted by me, Vamsi. And my intent with this podcast has always been to bring interesting guests on whose stories would otherwise remain untold or undertold in the world. And that's why I like to bring on people who have been friends of mine, people I've come across online through MMOs and various other genres of games. MMOs are massively multiplayer online games, and through various Discord communities and just meeting people online over time. And then I find that each new guest has now been connecting me with one or two more guests. So interviews are accelerating. I've been doing an interview almost every day. Working with Tony, my editor, has been great. We've been trying to figure out a way to accelerate things. We might be trying out YouTube Shorts, maybe 3 episodes a week plus 3 shorts a week. We'll see how that goes, how sustainable that is. And I'll be working more on thumbnails and other things as well over time. In the Discord, I've made a new channel that's about ongoing goals, and I'm using it like a checklist that holds me publicly accountable. So please check that out. Suggest any goals or feedback that you'd like. I'll have a link in the description to the Discord. Today's guest, his name is Chris. I knew him as Holliander. We met in the MMO New World, and you'll see that this conversation is very different from any conversation before on this channel because he really likes to make people laugh. That's his purpose in life. He lives life to make people laugh. So the humor that we get into is, I would say, dark, raucous, juvenile at times, but very genuine, 100% genuine, which I think is the best part of participating in it. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you all have as much fun listening to it as I had participating and facilitating it. And I think I also learned a lot of things and got some good life advice and direction on how I could improve in terms of relationships, finding a life partner, living a life that is in alignment with my values, pursuing goals, taking on responsibility, finding meaning, all of these things. And there'll be a future episode that has more content with Chris and his brother Jason, which we filmed at a different time when, because Chris has 3 daughters and a wife, and they all got curious in that next episode. But for this episode, he was doing it late at night after everyone had already gone to bed, usually when dads get free time, right? So it was more one-on-one. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy it, and I'd love to hear feedback in the comments or in the Discord. Thank you very much, and enjoy. What I love about my podcast is I can just say what I want. Like the last guest, he was like, "Oh, am I allowed to cuss on the thing?" 15 minutes in, and I'm like, "Of course, go ahead." Then he became so much more comfortable. So I realized I should just tell people straight up at the beginning, "You're allowed to cuss," and then they feel so much more free to be themselves. Yes. You can say whatever you like. You're not going to say anything to offend me or the audience. You can say anything. You can say like, "Hitler was right."
I'm not going to say that.
Because I don't believe that, so that's why I'm not going to say that.
I'm not going to say that because I don't believe it, but I'm just going to say...
I do think Hitler was wrong, for clarification. But my point is, feel free to say what's on your mind, because I think it's a lot worse when you're censoring yourself. You can't be effective. You can't be yourself.
That's not going to happen.
What?
Censoring myself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I value...
Well, you got to understand, Franklin, that's not going to happen.
Dude, I forgot how much I love talking with you, because you actually just say what's on your mind, and you're honest.
Yeah,
and you don't give a fuck, and your career is safe. No one can fire you because you say the wrong thing on the internet.
Well, they could, but they're never going to find it.
Sure.
Unless they're looking for it, so...
And even if they do, I think you're effective enough at your job that you can find another gig
I can work
contract.
For myself.
Exactly.
So...
Not a big deal. Also, you're in a union, and it's going to be hard for them to fire you when you're effective at your job. And
they could, but I mean, like, my views aren't that insane. Extreme. Yeah, they're not extreme. Yeah. Like... Their views, their opinions, but they don't speak for anybody else but me. So get over it.
Exactly. What's that?
Chewing tobacco.
Oh, chewing tobacco? Or what is that? Is that the kind of thing you put between your lips and your gums and then it like absorbs?
Nicotine?
Is it
yeah.
Okay, nicotine. Makes sense. So it's like a healthier alternative to smoking?
No.
It's
not healthy.
Just a different kind. No, healthier alternative to smoking. If you were smoking cigarettes, that would be way worse, right? You'd have cadmium and all this bullshit in your body. Cobalt.
Well, okay.
Heavy metal, poison.
Supposedly, it's healthier. Just because you're not attacking your lungs. But I can still get mouth cancer.
Exactly. So you're still, it's still really bad. I get it.
Yeah, but still like you can still get mouth cancer from smoking cigarettes.
Sure. But you can also get lung cancer, throat cancer.
But you can also get Yeah, I can also
and a
get
bunch of
throat
other
cancer technically from this or whatever. But
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, how's the family doing? How are things? What have I missed in the last year and a half since we last talked?
I can't believe
How's
it's been a year
Hangover?
and a half.
I mean,
Um,
September 2021 was when New World came out.
so Hangover's not in my hands anymore.
Okay,
I
who took
handed
over?
that over.
Deku, Carius?
I gave it to Carius.
Okay, I trust Carius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I looked at it. I was like, fucking, who can take it over? I was like, Carius, you got this.
He was doing most of the
Because
work, yeah.
he was doing most of the work anyway. Yeah, let's
He
be
was leading
honest.
it.
Yeah.
Like you said at the beginning when I joined, you said you were the personality, but he
Yeah.
was the leader. He was the
Yeah,
organizer. Yeah.
he did all the organization. He did all the work to put the Discord server
Hmm.
together. So, in all opinion, it's kind of his anyway.
Yeah.
It's just I bring people to the show. I sell the
Right.
tickets. That's kind of how it works with me.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as it is, it's fine. It's running on its own. I mean,
Hmm.
BDO kind of ended.
Yeah.
That shit's gone.
Lost Ark happening still?
Uh, did Lost Ark for a while.
I was part of that, yeah.
I just kind of died out from that. It was above my skill grade.
I mean, for me, Lost Ark just became boring. I was
It
doing
became
chores every day.
it
The game
became
was a chore.
boring. Yeah, it was a chore, and and then like the end game was kind of a skill gap for me.
Okay,
Like,
so it actually got hard. Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it got hard. It got hard
Mhm.
enough for me where I was like, that's not my game.
Right. Too
I
skill
can't
intensive.
I
Yeah.
can't contribute enough to everybody else to keep playing it. So
Mm.
then I went back to New World
Okay.
when they did
Fresh
the new
start
servers.
servers.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
fresh start servers with Knights of Shadowhawk again.
Nice. So it's Shank and everyone. Yeah,
Yep.
I'd love to hear how they're doing.
Um, honestly, the fresh start service was like a revival for
Yeah, I
KOS.
heard a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it was good times. It was good.
Hmm.
It was a good time. It was a good reminder of how it goes. But at the same time, it's like it ends up being
The same thing.
New World again. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you're just like, okay, yeah, I don't want to do this again.
All the same design
Yeah, yeah.
problems, the
Like
wars,
the
the
whole. Well, everything ran correctly.
Okay, what went wrong this time?
The game sucks.
Still.
Yeah.
What would you say are the three key design flaws? Top three that are causing the issues
Of New World?
of New World, even after the revival.
Well, first off, you can't have a game just based on PvP.
Right. You need
Yeah.
PvE.
Yeah, you need some PvE.
Hmm. So the
And
dungeon's not good enough. The mutation's not good enough.
the dungeons are fun. It's just the community base around the game wasn't strong enough. And then they have like when you get
Yeah.
to end game, it's mutations, but you have to be able to get in the mutations with other people. It's like
Hmm.
the slow leak of gear to get into the mutations the same level as somebody else to do the same mutation just limits the community that you can be in.
It does. I
Like
see.
let's say like if you like break down like A plus to A minus instead of just
Hmm.
all the A students, all the B students, all the C students, and then you broke it up in the plus minus, average, and those are the only ones, you cut your pool down.
Mm.
So you need to be able to, like World of Warcraft did it, like they pooled it with everybody. So yes, it sucked that you could be matched with shitty people,
Hmm.
but it opened up the pool of people that you can be, like you're not waiting. You don't want to wait. That's
Exactly.
pretty much
You don't
that.
want
Like
long queue
nobody wants.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody wants to queue for hours.
Hmm.
What are you, a
This is
fucking
my drink.
gallon of fucking water? What the fuck are you doing?
This is my gamer jug.
It's probably a metric too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking metric, you fucking lunatic. You drink out a fucking. How big is that?
3,400 milliliters.
I don't even know
So
what that is.
I
What was
think
that?
it says
Three
one. It
point
says
five liters.
1.16. I think it's 1.16 gallons.
That's
So yeah.
ridiculous. That is that what you're doing now? You're drinking
Mhm.
out of fucking gallons of water. What
I had
the
this during New
fuck?
World days as well, dude. I
Did
ordered it
you?
because I realized if I don't have a lot of water next to me, I will
Yeah.
just not refill it when it runs out, and then I'll just dehydrate. So if I just have a bigger bottle of water, I'll drink more water. So
yeah, but
just
then
buy
when
a
you
bigger
piss
bottle of
in back in the fucking gallon of water, the fucking maniac, like fucking.
water.
I
Oh yeah, you
fucking
think
drink
it's
my
my piss
gallons of
jug?
water.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I just piss in the jugs. You got like a bunch of jugs in the back of that green screen, fucking filled with piss.
What green screen?
Yeah,
My bed?
yeah, your bed screen.
Oh yeah.
Fucking bed
I've just got
screen in the back
lines.
with the fucking liters of water, piss in the back.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I love the gamer memes, by the way. I was talking with my brother today after my last episode with M-Test, and he basically said, "Why don't you niche down on gamers?" And he told me the story of how gamers. There was something he saw about how like their whole house is a mess,
Yeah,
except around their desk where they know where everything is. Even if it's messy, it's
yeah.
organized for them in their mind. But that's because they live their life there, at their computer, at their desk, and everything else they don't care about. They just dip into it and for moments at a time, and then come back.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I mean, my desk it's a fucking mess.
Yeah, mine's not great either.
My desk has like a random knife, just in case I
What?
need a knife at my
Just in
desk.
case you need a knife? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you probably cut letters or people with that every so often.
it mostly cut letters,
Letters,
and
yeah,
then
not.
like gaming dice.
Oh, for
I haven't
D&D?
fucking yeah, but I haven't fucking used them in
I
fucking
mean, who
years.
knows? You need to make a decision. You're like, all right, let me roll
More,
some dice. Even
it's
number, odd number.
yeah, it's just more stupid shit. Like my wife put this on my desk.
Happy wife, happy life. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Indeed.
Those are the things at my desk.
You might want to let her know that she's on camera.
You're on camera. You're being recorded. You're on a
Okay.
podcast.
I would love to meet her, by the way.
Yeah, well, you can meet her right now.
Sure.
Say hi. No, not from there. Wait, you can't say hi?
Hi.
That's Fragment.
Or Vamsi. Yeah.
Or Vamsi.
Yeah, that's my
Whatever you
name.
want,
That's my
fucking.
first name.
You know what
I
the
mean,
funny part is? Is Vamsi more Indian?
more Indian, of course.
Yeah, because that's your real name, right?
Because I'm Indian, yeah.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
your real name? I forgot.
Chris?
Chris. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's white as fuck.
It's nice to meet you, Chris. But yeah,
Why
I was
you
actually
say it like that? We've met.
it's nice to meet you as Chris.
Oh,
Because I've
okay.
only met you as Holliander all the time, right? You've been Holliander, Coriander.
Yeah. Well,
Holliander.
everybody's like, what are you, Dutch? And I'm like, no, I just fucking picked a name randomly offline.
Yeah.
That's my name I stuck with.
Fraglin was based on my startup, which is called Fragless Designs. And then I was just like, okay, I'll just make something like Fraglin. Because Freeze or whatever was taken. And I used that in most places.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a story
Makes
for
sense.
Fraglin.
That makes
And
sense.
then it stuck.
Mine stuck with a World of Warcraft name, and I randomly picked it, and I was like, "Are you okay with people calling you Holly? That sounds kind of fucking female." And I was like, "I don't give a fuck."
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what people on the internet call my name. I'm like, I'll fucking play a female name. It's funny.
Yeah. Also, there are men named Holly. Like, really, it's a
In
it's a
real
unisex
life?
name in real
No.
life.
No,
Oh yeah, I'll show you
there's
later.
no,
I'll show you. I'm betting there's at least one person in the world named Holly who's a guy.
I doubt it. Yeah, me.
Okay. Okay, two people.
Yeah,
By the way, what's your wife's name? I feel like you have mentioned that before.
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay.
Yeah.
Melissa and Chris. Cool.
Yeah, normal white people names.
Yeah. I have a colleague who's named Chris, and his wife is named Unhee, which is like a
That's not normal.
that is a Korean name, South
Yeah.
Korean. So there you go. Not normal.
Yeah,
He's
that's
actually learning Korean and stuff. But yeah, they have a good relationship. Lots of close values. I've been really interested in interviewing married couples because
Okay.
that could help me understand what I should be looking for in a long-term partnership, right?
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, trying to study for that's a problem.
Why is that? You kind of have to just fail repeatedly and learn from experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of just got to do it. Like,
Right.
you're not gonna hit it right off the bat.
bat.
That shit's not gonna hit.
Hmm.
Like, you're gonna deal with a lot of crazy bitches.
Hmm.
I'm still dealing with one. I've been married to her for a long time. She's sitting here just like, I'm gonna listen to all the shit he says right now.
But this is what I did this. Can she hear me? I mean, you might want to put me on speaker.
No, I'm not putting her on speaker.
All right.
Because I don't have speakers.
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough. I understand. I don't want her to be left out unnecessarily, right?
She's just chilling just to hear what I say. Because she's not scared of what you say.
Fair enough. She just wants your side of the conversation.
Exactly.
But basically, I was interviewing a friend this morning off the record because him and his wife are very private people.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave me some good advice. And I also really liked the banter and the playfulness and the trust that they displayed. I couldn't even see them. It was just listening to them. And I was like, that's really cool. They've been married 10 years. And I'm like, that's what I want, right? I want something like that where they can be honest with each other, playful, trusting. Kind of like you just roasted your wife and she smacked you playfully.
Yeah.
But that's good.
I mean, we've been married. Shit, now she's doing the test. 21, well, going on 21 years.
Do you remember your wedding anniversary date?
Yeah, technically.
What is it?
October 4th.
Okay, my birthday's October 31st.
See, I just won right there.
You just won. Yeah, that's what.
Right
see, I just gave you an opportunity to win.
But I was like, I know that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I had my wedding ring, which, as you can see, I have no rings right now. But I had my wedding ring, and the date was written in the ring, and I lost it.
You lost the ring. When was this?
My memory, I still remember what was written in the ring.
Right, because you had it reminded. It was visual, not just
information. You know, like when you
abstract.
write something down, you fucking remember it. Well, that's kind of how that worked.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But, I remember the date.
But the thing is, I remember in some of our earliest conversations, you used to tell me that your wife. You told me I needed to find a wife, and you told me that she needed to fill the gaps where I was bad.
Correct.
And also where I filled the gaps where she was bad. So we made up for each other's weaknesses and enhanced each other's strengths.
Yep. Yeah,
and
you don't want you don't want anybody like you.
Right.
That's the key. That's the key.
Except
if it can't be the complete antithesis of you. You have to have some commonalities, but you can't
we need some alignment.
Yeah, you need some alignment, but it can't be it can't be you. Because that'll never work.
Can you ask Melissa what she thinks?
I'll fucking put her on the fucking thing and you can ask her.
Sure, I can ask her.
All right, I'll refill my drink and now you're on.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Are you shy to be on camera?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I've been Hollyander's friend for about 1.5 years now, on and off. He gave me a lot of good life advice back in the day, but we're just catching up now after about a year of not talking.
I see.
Or I guess his name is Chris to you, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So the main thing I wanted to ask you, because he gave me a lot of advice in the past about basically choosing a life partner who can do the things that I'm bad at and where I can do the things they're bad at. Basically, playing complementary roles. Welcome to the podcast. People can see you now. So yeah, I just wanted to ask your thoughts. So he basically said there has to be some alignment on values, but for the most part, you want to find someone who's not like you, different from you. Do you agree?
I agree. I mean, life would be boring just living with yourself. There'd be like nothing different, nothing new, no new thought. And then,
so what drew you to Chris?
What?
What drew you to Chris? What made you feel drawn to him as a life partner?
I don't know, just like more like because I could be myself around him. That's like important.
Did you feel like you needed to be someone else around other people?
Sometimes.
But with him, you can always be yourself. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I was reading a book by Feynman. Have you heard of Feynman? Richard Feynman, the physicist?
I don't think so.
Okay, but he was telling a story of when he was about, I think, 14 years old. And he had a relationship with this girl named Arlene. And he said that he basically told her about honesty. And like, what do we care what other people think as long as we can be honest with each other? And he said that she bought into that idea and they were honest with each other. And that ended up being the sort of deepest kind of love he had ever known because they were honest with each other. So do you think you and Chris being honest with each other has helped your relationship?
I think so.
Okay. Do you want Chris to come on now? It looks like you might be uncomfortable. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Then yeah, go ahead. Give it to Chris.
Probably an hour. Depends.
Welcome
Depends
back.
on how much I fucking drive Fragment crazy.
Oh yeah. You filled it up with more sangria or something else?
Same shit.
Same shit. Okay. But yeah, I like Melissa. I can just tell it would probably take 10 or 15 minutes for her to warm up because she does seem very nervous about the camera and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally different. Totally different personalities.
Yeah, I understand. You're much more, I would say in a way, you're much more seductive because you're open, you know, and I've been learning that openness and like not having a judgmental bone in your body, not having a fearful bone in your body, kind of like you've heard that idea that dogs can smell fear, right? I think people can sense when you're open. Like if I'm crossing my arms, I'm a lot more defensive than if I'm open. And when I'm open and interested, then it's a much different feeling.
Well, it's my dad always said, like, the key to getting people to open up is asking them questions about them.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter about you. As long as you keep asking questions about them, people are way happier to answer questions about them.
Yeah, eventually. Once they get comfortable.
They just keep going.
The thing is, at first, they need to build the trust. Because at first, they'll be kind of suspicious. They'll be like, why is this person so curious about me? Do they have an agenda? Are they trying to manipulate me? What's going on?
And then this motherfucker trying to fucking scam me? And that's what most...
Does he want my personal information to steal my identity? Yeah, exactly. That's what I get a lot in the New World interviews when I was interviewing people. But then I think there's a flip that switches. And suddenly there's a change when they realize, wait, he's genuinely curious. Wait, he really wants to know. Whoa, he's just a weird guy who likes finding out about people.
Just wants to hear information, just bounce shit off.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they open up and it's a floodgate. And then people will just say things and then they'll be like, wow, I haven't even told my wife that. And they'll realize, and I'll be like, well, why not? And they'll be like, well, I guess it's never come up. So M-Test, the guy I just interviewed, he actually sent me a message saying that his dad texted him, saying that after hearing the podcast, he knows his son a lot better now. And I'm like, great.
Oh, his dad watched the podcast?
His dad watched the podcast, and he's going to get his mom on the podcast if she's comfortable, but he says she's old school, so I don't know if she'll come on. She doesn't like technology.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like, I love this. Like, I love doing this, connecting with people.
Because for some people have an easiness of opening up when they think they're not directly talking to the person.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And also that I think parents and their children and wife and husband, they take a lot of things for granted. They're just in the day-to-day, in the forest. They're in the trees and they miss the forest, right? They don't talk about these things sometimes because they're not reflecting on their life with each other. They're just managing the kids, managing the house, doing the thing, just getting through life every day.
Do you feel like this is like your, what's it called? Let me use my brain for a second. Projecting a little bit?
Who's projecting me?
You. Do you think that sometimes that like you would like to talk to your dad the same way that you would interview somebody?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm getting him on the podcast. That's why I started the podcast.
Okay, you are getting your dad on the podcast.
Yeah, see, because here's the thing. He always used to say I didn't listen to him enough, right? And when he shared stories, I liked listening to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, why don't I just start a podcast and then put my dad on it and then I can listen to him and he can get what he wants and I can get what I want.
You think the separation, the camera and stuff, like makes it so that you can listen to each other more, or?
Well, I've tried listening to him and I have listened to him. He kind of gets drunk and then he rambles for 3-4 hours and I listen. I ask some questions.
That's every drunk asshole. Yeah.
That's every drunk asshole. Yeah, it's fine. He's been drinking 40 years, right?
Yeah.
Although now he's in India.
He should be good at it by now. I mean,
he's pretty good at it. Yeah.
I drink a lot, and like I'm pretty fucking clear for somebody that drinks a lot. So he should be good at it by this time.
You know Bert the Machine or whatever, the comedian who drinks a lot, but he's also like on the road and he's really fit. Bert Kreischer, yeah. He's talked about alcohol on the podcast with Andrew Huberman and other people. It's interesting how he fits it into his life.
Yeah, well, he says it's the sparkle.
The sparkle to his life?
Yeah, like he says, like that time when somebody comes up to you and like, let's have a drink, and it's like noontime, and he's like, that's just the start of like an exciting day.
Right.
Completely agree with him. Completely.
So he views it. he views it as the spark that begins the fire of the day.
Yeah.
Right? The catalyst.
He thinks of it as the excitement that starts a moment, which is so true. Like it's that spark of like a moment of a memory that you're going to create, whether or not you remember it. That's the funny part. Like he doesn't adjust that part because he's going to have so many sparkles. Not all of them is going to remember. So like you start that sparkle of a memory, you're like, I'm going to fucking sit down and drink with Fraglin and we're going to shoot the shit for an hour and it's going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no guarantee of memory. If Fraglin stays sober, he might remember it. But at me, it's the excitement of it's going to happen. I'm not technically going to remember it all. It's not going to be as in my mind space as you would be, because you're clear.
But Kahneman gave an interesting talk. He wrote a book about this. He had a study. Basically, he theorized that we have two selves, the experiencing self and the remembering self.
Okay.
And what you're doing, which is really interesting to me because most people do not do this most of the time, is you are prioritizing your experiencing self over your remembering self. So if you think about it, most people plan their vacations for the photographs they will take and the memories they will create, not for the experience of the vacation. Because if they had to decide, what's my ideal vacation, if I'm not going to remember it, then they might literally be playing video games in their underwear for a week at home. That might be their perfect vacation if they're not going to have memories or photographs or remember it. Because they would enjoy that more than whatever they're going to do on the adventure or whatever. Now, everyone's different, right? Some people might actually, their experiencing selves might really like going on that adventure. For you and Bert, maybe the experiencing self likes drinking and shooting the shit and doesn't mind if you forget because you know you had a good time. You'll wake up feeling good.
Yeah.
Your body will remember.
You'll remember you had a good time.
You'll remember how you felt, even if you don't remember what you did.
All the details.
Right, and that's fine.
Some people focus on the details. Those are important to them.
Right.
In the gist of things, it's not. Like, if you really look at it, it's not, the details, not that fun. Because if you think about it, you have a good story, you can make up more great stories from that great story. Because you don't fucking remember it, you're just retelling it.
Right. It's like the ending of a book where you can interpret your own ending, right? And then everyone can experience it how they want. They can fill in the details how they want. Yeah. That's a great thing about books. You get to imagine what they look like. Like watching Harry Potter, I was like, man, this is not how I imagined the characters from the books when I was a kid, you know? I kind of wish I didn't watch the movie.
And then once you watch the movie, those are the characters.
Now it's them. Now I can't imagine them as...
Yeah, mentally, you can't change that.
Now I'm locked into
done.
that.
Yeah, that's done.
So ruined, you know? Wasted. No, so I was just kidding. Holliander, your profile picture is the wasted from GTA. So it just came to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are how wasted are you actually? How do you categorize drunkenness from like 0 to 10? 10 being like blackout drunk.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
You don't remember anything. Blackout drunk would be me not responding to you.
Okay, so you would you be unconscious or would you still be conscious but just like
No, I could be conscious, but I would barely respond to you.
Okay. Would you even be able to hear me or
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't care. You'd just be experiencing it.
No. Blackout drunk's not fun.
It's not fun. Okay.
No.
Where does it, so on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is blackout drunk. Where does it stop being fun? Around 7, 8?
It depends. It's like, well, it depends on how experienced you are at being drunk.
Drunk. Okay.
So like, you can't hear me slurring words right now.
Right.
Yes? No?
For the most part.
Slurring?
I don't think you're slurring words. No, you're enunciating pretty decently.
Yeah, but so like I'm enunciating pretty decently. You can understand.
So what are you at, like a 4 out of 10? Yeah.
So I would say for everybody else, I'd be a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
For me, pretty common. I can handle it. So I feel good. Got a good buzz going.
Okay.
But I'm going to remember everything tomorrow.
So when you say for other people it would be a 9, you mean if they ingested the same amount of alcohol? they would be a 9 because of their alcohol tolerance?
Yeah,
or do you
they'd
mean
be done. They'd be done.
Because there's a distinction worth making here between physical alcohol tolerance in your blood and how your brain functions and handles alcohol because you've had experience,
Yeah.
and the mental aspect that you've had experience with the consciousness of being drunk and handling that. That's a different thing.
So it's very difficult to explain this. So like,
Mhm.
do you drink, Fraglin, at all?
I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life.
Okay. So this is gonna be hard to explain now. So
Which is good. Yeah.
So, for instance, if I had 2 beers,
Mhm.
I'd feel nothing. If you had 2 beers, you'd be asleep.
I'd be a 12 out of 10 or something asleep.
No, you'd be asleep. You'd actually be good night.
Which is more than blackout drunk, right?
No, it's not
It's not
blackout or
more.
anything like that. You'd just be like, I'm tired. I gotta go to sleep.
And I'll
You go to
sleep.
sleep right now.
Okay.
So like you couldn't actually experience blackout drunk because
Right.
you're
I couldn't
so
get there.
unexperienced.
So I'd have to develop this, like exercising. I'd have to get strong enough to
Yeah,
then experience
to
blackout drunk.
experience. Yeah, you couldn't experience blackout drunk because it would never happen. You
Right.
would pass out before that would happen. And
Interesting.
then like
I didn't
somebody's
know
in the
that.
middle of the game,
hmm
they can get drunk enough to experience blackout drunk where they just start talking without realizing they're talking, don't know what happened. Their body is like, it's like an instinct mode,
hmm
but they don't know what happened. It's their natural instincts taking over and they don't know what happened. That's like mid-level.
Okay.
Large level,
High level, let's
high
say.
level.
You're a veteran drinker. Yeah.
Veteran drinker.
Yeah.
At 7 o'clock
Mhm.
at night, if I have one drink and I stop at that one drink, instantaneous to go to sleep,
Interesting.
like I never drank.
hmm
Go to sleep, good night's sleep, no problems. I drink 6 drinks, energized, where most people from 6 drinks would be out. So like in 6 drinks in, I'm fine, normal, like it never hit me. So I'm like in a level where I'm buzzed, can't go to sleep, but I'm fine. It changes, it like alters. So like
The thresholds change, you mean?
yeah, the thresholds change where
Yeah.
I can drink and I get more energized by drinking than I would get sleepy. That's
Which is
where the tables turned. Like
so yeah.
so most people would turn sleepy first, blackout.
Mm.
That's that level. And to me, at 6 o'clock, if I don't have a drink, I get tired, want to go to sleep.
And if you do have a drink, you'll still sleep.
I still
One
sleep,
drink.
but I'm awake for that drink.
Till
So
7.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
like so like as soon as like that 7 o'clock, I drink that drink, I'm awake now. Like
Even if it's one drink.
full awake, yeah, full awake.
So the question I
And then
have for you is
that drink wears off, go to sleep.
okay, so it's about the drink wearing off. How long does it take to wear off one drink?
An hour.
An hour. So if you drink at 7, you'll sleep at 8?
Yep.
Okay. If you drink at 6, you'll sleep at 7.
Yep.
But you start to get tired at 6 no matter what, even if you haven't drank anything.
Due to my schedule, yeah.
Because you work from like 5 a.m. or?
I wake up at like 4:30.
4:30. So
Mhm.
then about 14 hours later, you start to get sleepy naturally. That's good. And you get sunlight in the mornings, I'm guessing?
I mean, I'm awake during sunlight hours, but not technically. Not like the
No.
7 tenets of fucking ancestral living kind of fucking sunlight. You know, like I'm not getting Liver King sunlight. I'm just like I'm driving to work.
But that's why I
get
have the sun lamp, right?
If I walk outside and there's sun out, yeah, sure, I'm getting sunlight. But as soon as I get to work, there's no sunlight now.
Yeah, and I guess there's some sunlight from your car windows, but they tend to be built to block UV light. So you actually
that's what I'm saying.
much.
Like at like 4:30
You
in the
really don't.
morning, I'm driving in the dark.
Yeah, you're driving in the dark.
Yeah.
Then when you get to work, you're working indoors.
Yes.
Building flooring.
Mostly. And then sometimes there's windows and I'm getting some, but UV blockers, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting to me because I've known alcohol as a depressant, as something that makes you tired and sleepy. But you're telling me as a veteran drinker, it is a stimulant like cocaine for you. Maybe not as strong as cocaine, but
it's a stimulant for anybody that's an alcoholic. Yeah.
okay, I should talk to my dad about that. He's been drinking 40 plus years. He'd probably understand. See, he never told me this. Like, why? This is what I mean. Like, there's so many things I'm missing because people just don't tell me about their human experience. Maybe because they're not used to people being interested, but this is the most fascinating thing in the world to me. Learning about how people experience life.
Well, it depends on the person too. I mean, there's so much.
Maybe his body is different, right?
Chemical mental dependency on things that it might be different for him.
It probably is.
Like for some people, they depend on the depressant part of it. And I'm not a depressing kind of person. So for me, it gives me a buzz. I'm ready to go. Like alcohol.
And for Bert Kreischer, you think it's the same?
Yes.
Because he describes it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He describes it as like, oh, I get spark. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. And then he's like, and then the next morning I want to work out and stuff like that. I get the same boost.
Buzz.
Like I want to go.
Right. I get that from
fuel.
I get that from good conversation, inspiration. Yeah. Like this fuels me to like be energized. Like it's really hard for me to sleep after a podcast, you know. Or my M-Test podcast, I had it at 5 a.m. and I tried to go to bed at midnight and I couldn't sleep for 5 hours. Yeah, because he's in Europe. He's 9 hours ahead of me, so it was 2 p.m. for him. Okay. And then I had an interview at 8 a.m. with the next person, and honestly, I learned a lesson from that because I was definitely too tired to do that well. I didn't do a good job.
Yeah, you were like, let me ask you this question. Like,
there was a person in Twitch chat.
What the fuck are you doing right now?
Yeah.
That guy's like, what the fuck?
Yes. And I apologized to her. I don't think she said she liked the conversation, so I don't know. Maybe I still did a good job, but...
Oh, it was a female.
Yeah, her name is Ligea. Yeah.
Wow, different.
So she was also in Europe, Serbia. So she was also 9 hours ahead. So that's why the interviews were so early. Because for her, it was like 6 p.m. or something, or 5 p.m. But yeah. No, it was still a decent conversation. I just... You know the standard I hold myself to, right? Like, I don't like half-assing anything. I really want to keep pushing myself. So yeah, my goal is every podcast episode, try to make it at least one concrete way better than the last and build upon that. So 100 episodes later, I'm 99 ways better. And that's my goal. And I'm getting there.
That's good.
Yeah, I started doing thumbnails. I'll start to improve the titles. I'm thinking about this title, right? Maybe you can help me brainstorm. I'm just like, getting drunk with Holliander, something like that. Whatever it might be.
Well, you're not getting drunk.
Exactly, that's the problem.
You can't use that as the title.
I mean, I'm getting drunk through the screen looking at you being drunk.
I'm not even drunk.
You're just buzzed.
I'm buzzed.
Describe the buzz to me. What is buzz like? Because my dad also uses the word buzz. What is it like? Like you're energized or are you focused? Is it like Adderall?
I feel good.
You feel good.
Yeah.
Describe good like
good.
Start using words that are more complex, like
all right.
Energized, in control. The world is my oyster.
My skin feels warm.
Okay, your skin is warm.
Yeah. I feel happy to have a conversation right now. Conversation is flowing. So like I'm ready to be flowing to conversation.
Yeah.
I'm always open. So like that like along with it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's
Life is good.
Go.
This moment is good.
Life is good. Fucking let's do this. I got a nice drink in my hands. Fucking it's very it's not complicated.
It's simple.
That's what it is. Not complicated. Like things are not complicated. We're not thinking about bullshit. So
you know
like
what?
The bullshit doesn't come into play. Like I'm not thinking about any exterior bullshit.
You're not worried about how are the kids doing, how's the wife doing, do I need to go check on them?
What's
What's happening tomorrow?
This discussion right now.
And you're here. You're mindful.
That's what we're doing.
You're in the moment.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good experience. That's what meditation trains. That's what focusing trains. That's all these things. And when you're in the moment, you can be most effective.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
I'm in the moment. We're fucking talking, Franklin.
And we're listening and we're connecting.
You got your goofy ass smile. Fucking
messy teeth.
Franklin, fucking, I can't even see the messy teeth. Fucking handsome, fragrant smile. Didn't expect it.
You're still surprised. How long is it going to take you to get used to how I look?
It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. I was like, I thought this guy lived in a basement. I was like, this guy, no way should be outside in the human experience. I was like,
you're just enjoying making me feel good right now, aren't you?
I didn't know I was kind of fucking roasting you right now, and now you're making me feel bad because I thought I was roasting you.
No, dude, I always thought I was ugly. Seriously. You're the first. Well, no, a couple of people have told me that I'm decently good looking. In my second podcast episode with my uncle, he kept saying that I'm fucking handsome and that they're going to help me find a girl and all that stuff. Well, it's funny because my friend told me.
If you just don't interview.
If I just. What?
You just don't interview them.
What am I supposed to do instead? Just look strong and silent?
When you talk to somebody, don't act like it's a fucking interview. That's the key. Like when you talk to, like when you go into a Discord chat, and you're like, I'd like to interview you. That's like rapey. You just gotta be like, hey, let's just have a conversation, but without saying, let's have a conversation. That's how you have a conversation with somebody.
Right. So like you said, it's simple, not complicated.
You don't point it out. Like, hey, Fraglin, I'd like to have a conversation with you. That's creepy.
That comes across like, hey, I need to see you in my office. Yeah, it's like, oh, the principal's office. What did I do?
Yeah. If we just like start talking,
we'll get there.
A talk, then you just get there. You just naturally get there. You can't be like, we had to have a conversation right now. Hey,
Can I interview you for the podcast?
I need to interview the shit out of you.
I just go to a bar.
I want to interview you so deeply. How deep can I interview you right now? You can't do that shit.
Okay, imagine I go to a bar. I've never been to a bar, but I go to a bar or a nightclub. I've never been to a nightclub.
No shit.
And then I find someone who looks attractive.
Yeah.
Who seems to have open body language and be available and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just whisper in their ear, maybe. Oh, no, that's maybe too creepy. I don't know. How do you approach someone non-threateningly, but still in a suave way? In a public setting.
Do it naturally.
So just walk up frontal facing.
All right. Hold off. What are you trying to do? What's your intentions?
What's my intention?
Like, you got to know your intention.
My intention is to get her on the podcast.
You want to... That's your intentions? Not to fuck. Not to get a girlfriend.
Dude, trust me. I'll tell you this, okay?
Hey, bitch.
Dude,
you're fucking hot. I just want to get you on a podcast so bad.
Yes.
You're so hot. I want to get you on a fucking podcast.
Dude, okay. Look at
podcast the shit out of you.
Dude, do you remember? Oh my god. There were actually women in New World. There were women in New World who they actually said they thought it was hot that I was the spreadsheet guy. Like when I said I'm spreadsheet guy and I showed them spreadsheets.
Those are not the females you want to hang out with. First off.
No, but one of them was a single mom in Boston. Funnily enough, she's actually pretty close to you, probably. She was saying about
First off, she's a single mom.
Yeah.
She's open to a lot of shit.
No. Oh, okay, fair enough. So she wasn't hitting on me, but she was just trying to help me understand that I can be nerdy and still be liked, basically.
You can be nerdy and still be liked, but you just can't be, say, creepy shit.
Right, I can't be creepy and still be liked. I can be nerdy, but not creepy, I understand.
You can be nerdy, but don't go creepy.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing, though. I just realized, think about how long I would last in sex, realistically. I've never had sex, right? Probably 2 to 10 minutes at most, right? Realistically. Premature ejaculation is a very common problem. I mean, it depends, I guess, how much foreplay...
When you jerk off, how long does it last?
I haven't jerked off in a long time, dude. Like, I've been off porn. Yeah, I've been off porn and I've been off jerking off. But I'd say back then, it depends, right? Like, how often was I doing it? If I was doing it, like, every few days, then I'd say...
You're not jerking off once a day and you're still not having sex. Holy shit.
Dude, trust me, once you don't do it, like, nofap for, like, 2 or 3 days, you have no cravings. Like, I don't get that much cravings. I might see a pretty girl or, like, something and think, okay, I want to watch porn and jerk off. But then...
a lot of testosterone right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You're like, you're literally undermining your testosterone.
But if I exercise, then I get testosterone too, right? So
then you'll jerk off.
No, I'm not. I've been exercising every day.
You're not exercising enough because you'd be jerking off.
No, I spent 25 minutes on the bike at like 144 heart rate when my resting is like 60. So like, I mean, I'm trying stuff. And then I spent 5 minutes on the treadmill doing some sprints. But I mean, I'm trying out stuff. Today I haven't gone to the gym. Yesterday I haven't. So there's been a break.
Okay.
But I will say you might be right because I have had urges. But I think it's kind of like stoicism, right? Like where you identify your emotions and your urges and your desires and you observe them and then they dissipate within a few minutes. You don't scratch the itch and it goes away. The mosquito bite, whatever it is.
Sure.
Right. But are you advocating that it's unhealthy for me to be not masturbating?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. You're saying it's lowering my testosterone?
Yeah. Okay. Like honestly, if you want to be more comfortable around females, you have to jerk off, dude.
No, dude, I've never been more open and comfortable with women than I am now. Like it's funny because I used to be compared to Raj from The Big Bang Theory, who couldn't talk to women unless he's drunk. Except I've never been drunk, right? But yeah, that's the caricature. And people tell me I remind them of Raj just because I'm Indian, but that's another thing.
That's probably most people's views on it. Like, oh shit, he's Indian, he must be Raj. But like at the same time, no, you gotta fucking whack one out, dude.
Dude, so Andrew Huberman has talked about this. He's talked about like, okay, so first of all, porn is bad. Maybe masturbation's good, but porn is bad, right? Because it's just easy access to dopamine with no actual work involved. And the idea that, you know, I've seen more naked women in my life than 100 years ago a guy would have seen in his life. And I'm only 27.
All right. You're 27.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, you have to whack off to like
Playboy magazines
or
whatever.
Warrior Secret's fucking swimsuit issue. That was like that was your go-to.
So you have to whack off to like safe for work stuff.
Well, it was literally like you're getting a boner to clothe women in bras.
But here's the thing, I've noticed that when I avoid porn, I am actually more turned on by erotic art rather than like just full nudity and hardcore porn. You know, like my tastes become more refined.
But here's the deal. At that time, I could jerk off to anything. And I don't know if that was better. Because everything was erotic to me.
Well, isn't that kind of healthy? Because part of the issue... No, think about this. Think about this. I mean, first of all, you're a horny teenage guy, right? So, of course, that's normal.
But like, is it? Like, I was like anything.
Okay, so you get a boner in class looking at the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens. That's an awkward story that people write about, right? I've had boners in class that I had to hide.
Yeah, like,
people talk about the dick tuck method, right?
Boners all the time.
Yeah.
If I had Pornhub when I was a kid, I would be relaxed. I probably would be smarter.
You think so? Okay, that's an interesting argument. So if porn existed when you were growing up, you would have a higher IQ today.
I think so. Like I could have concentrated during class.
Yeah, I heard consecrated.
Yeah,
the consecration.
Like, consecration.
Okay, the alcohol is showing now.
Yeah. That's the alcohol in that one.
That's the alcohol. But hey, that's pretty good. One word in like 1,000.
Yeah, I could have concentrated so much more.
So you were distracted by erotic thoughts all the time, like lust, those feelings,
I had
desires.
A boner 90% of the time.
So you were on Viagra, basically, is what the symptoms look like. Yeah. How did you have the blood flow to sustain that? Like, what is happening?
I was fucking 18. Well, actually, in high school, I was 16.
You're 16.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because if all that blood is going to your penis, then your brain is not getting that much blood.
Nothing. I didn't give a shit about school. I was an A+ student in middle school. No sexual drive. Sexual drive in high school, C student.
Interesting. I mean, there's just correlation here. We haven't figured out a cause yet, but I am interested in coming up with a hypothesis. When was the first time you had sex with a woman?
Fuck. Let's say 17.
Okay, 10 years before me. And I mean, I'm still 27, still haven't done it. So it could be 11 or 12 years if I keep
10 years before you and you haven't done it. That means you can't comparison to that.
I can't. There's no comparison. I've never done it.
You haven't done it yet.
Maybe we should close the loop on that thought, though. Like, so however long I last, because this all started because this tangent started because I said I would last 2 to 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be longer than that.
It doesn't take long.
No, and I think the idea is that you do it multiple times, right? You wait for the refractory period.
No, it doesn't work.
You don't, doesn't?
No, you don't get better at it.
No. What do you mean you don't get better at it?
Well, like I'm saying, like just because you fucked at 18 doesn't mean you blow your load and you're a better fucker at 28 or something like that.
That's not what I'm implying. No, what I'm saying is that I'm guessing people have sex multiple times in one night. That's how they deal with premature ejaculation or
that doesn't necessarily happen either.
It doesn't necessarily. So what do people do? They have sex for 2 to 10 minutes and then go to sleep?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
You think people are fucking like 3 to 4 times a night?
I mean, I've read books where that happened, but
yeah. What books?
But those were books.
Fucking the chick books, like
no. One of them was it was biography.
4 times a night.
One of them was a biography of Alexander the Great, actually, that I read in high school.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a sex.
Let me guess, it was written by Alexander the Great.
No, I guess it's not an autobiography. It's just a biography.
Alexander the Great. I fucked 4 times a night. I'm killing it.
No, it was actually only 2. It was only 2, and it was some kind of seductress that was brought in by his father to manipulate him. It was a whole interesting story, but the way they described the sex was really interesting to me. I would like to find that book and find that part at some point. I'll try to look for it after this episode and see if I can put it in the show notes. But
okay.
I just remember that the way they described sex was really interesting because I guess I've always been fascinated by sex, not for the ejaculation, but for the intimacy. Right? For the human connection. That's the best part, the human connection.
Let's be honest. I'm not going to shit you. That's the best part.
I'm glad you can say that.
Yeah, like no shit. Like it's great. The other part's great, but the intimacy means a lot more. That's from a dude telling you that. Like the intimacy part of it is way better. Like you can fuck and get your nut out, and like that's great.
Yeah.
You get your shit out, but like the intimacy part means so much more.
I think you're right. And I'm speaking with a friend who's 19 years old online. I'll protect his privacy. I don't want to give too many details. But long story short, he's fit. He's handsome. He gets a lot of one-night stands. But he told me about this one time that he had a one-night stand. And he was he just cried afterwards. And he didn't know why. And then he asked her to leave.
Probably because
she left. Probably because he's a bitch. Or probably because there's an empty... there's an empty void in his... heart, soul, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because he got it so easy beforehand, and then all of a sudden he felt some connection, and he started crying like a bitch.
So you think he was afraid? He was afraid of the vulnerability of feeling something. I thought it was that he wasn't feeling something, but he wanted to. Like he wanted intimacy, but he wasn't getting it.
That's the same thing. Like,
you think
in my opinion, yeah, it's the same thing. Like,
how are they the same?
At both points, he wanted intimacy, he couldn't feel it. He finally thought he felt it. Because I can remember he thought he felt it.
You think so?
There's no truth that he felt it. Like, that's on him.
But if he's going for these one-night stands...
At the same time, if he thought she felt it at the same time, that's where the intimacy happens.
And that's where it's scary. Because now you're on the hook.
That's where it becomes something. Because
now you can fail.
You don't want to have intimacy with somebody that does, like, it's kind of
unrequited intimacy.
It's like you fucking a hooker.
Right.
All right. She's paid to do that.
Have you done that before, by the way?
No.
Okay. I've never done it either.
You're going to have to talk to my brother about that one.
Okay, I'll talk to him about that.
Yeah. But
you think he's open to sharing that publicly, or probably?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, he's a lot like me. Yeah. Probably would.
Fair
but
enough.
like
Go ahead.
That part, I don't find any fun in that part. Like that part's not my cup of tea. If the other person isn't as excited as you are in the act, it's not the same.
So you need to feel you're both mutually invested, mutually loving it completely. Yeah, both completely in it.
That's the best way. Yeah.
And that's happening right now from my perspective. Like the best conversations are the ones where I feel like I'm fully listening and fully connected and the other person is too.
So
and neither of us is thinking.
Fucking.
We're fucking.
Is that what you're saying?
Verbally, we're fucking.
We're verbally fucking. All right.
There's verbal intimacy and trust.
Now you can put that as the label as the podcast.
Verbal intimacy? Yeah, let me write that down.
No, verbally fucking.
Verbally fucking.
I want the fucking that's what I
Okay.
want.
I'm gonna say verbal intimacy because that
No,
fits
no.
my
Verbally
marketing
fucking.
better.
Fucking.
Fucking.
Hard fucking. Verbally anal. How about that?
Hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah, hardcore verbal anal.
Yeah. This episode is definitely going to offend a lot of people, and I'm okay with that.
What?
Because I think it's.
I haven't even said anything offensive yet. God damn
But I
it.
think it will also be really enjoyable for a few people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need every
don't-
episode to be for everyone. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna refill my drink.
Sure,
Put
go
it
for
on
it.
pause.
Oh, sorry. By the way, are you
Yeah.
okay with me saying in the Discord in public, like in text chat, that you have sociopathic traits that are interesting to explore?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Interesting to explore. We're having
Are we gonna go?
conversation.
Are we gonna do sociopathic traits that I'm interested to explore? Let's go.
No. Right, no, I'm just writing the introduction for you. So everyone who joins the server, I write an introduction for them.
Okay.
If I know them. Yeah, basically. And it turns out I know
but
most of the people.
You have to hit those in order to
True.
draw people in.
True. But I think everything we've covered is already really interesting. I've never covered like alcohol, sex, the experience of life, being an incel, all these other things, which I think is really good stuff to cover for people who are gamers, people who are like me, people who might be drinking or not drinking, people who might be interested in what sex is like, hearing from you. And actually, I want to get your perspective on gaming, esports, all of these things from an older person. How old are you?
43.
43. Yeah. So M-Test he's like 25.
Okay.
And he was telling me about his parents being supportive of it. So if your daughter went into esports and was successful at it, how would you feel?
If she was successful at it, I would care.
You wouldn't care?
No.
Okay. But what I mean is that it's very rare to be successful at it. So would you be proud?
If she was successful, yeah, very proud.
Yeah. Like if she's making like 200K a year in esports.
Yeah, super proud. But I know how hard it is.
Yeah, you know how rare it is.
Yeah, that's rare. So of course I'd be wicked excited.
Yeah. And then would you be worried about all the parasocial relationships she might have if she has a Twitch channel and people are creeping on her and she's making them feel, you know about parasocial relationships online, right? Men sending money to women and like 100 people having a relationship with one woman, all believing, and they know that it's not a relationship with just her, but they believe parasocially. They suspend that disbelief to then send her money and feel it. And she interacts with them on that basis.
Do I believe in con artists? Yes.
Right.
Am I okay with my daughter being a con artist? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's how people make money.
Yeah, there's a really interesting blog post by someone who was a top X% webcammer and OnlyFans content creator.
You're being a con artist.
Sort of. I think you're giving people what they want, which is what con artists do to some degree.
Con artist, yeah.
But I would say, yeah. But here's one thing.
What are you saying? That's a con artist.
So listen to me. Hear me out, okay? I'm cooking.
Okay. All right.
Hear me out. I'm brewing, I guess. You can drink the Kool-Aid in a second. I'm brewing it still.
I'm drinking. It's fucking water, but it doesn't taste like Kool-Aid.
Are you drinking the water to become more sober?
I don't have any more alcohol, so
you've run out of sangria.
You're fucked because normal is worse. Yeah. So let's go.
It would actually be good to do one episode with you normal and compare it to the sober, but I guess we're getting both halves.
It's pretty close to the same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so what was I cooking? It was... Can you remind me if you remember?
Something with con artist and hentai porn.
Right, no, not hentai, but number one OnlyFans.
For fun.
Yeah, you like to do that, I understand. Yeah. That's how I know that you're not going to say something on your mind.
That's how I'm saying things to keep the conversation flowing.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, she basically wrote a guide on how to make money on OnlyFans, how to treat it like a business rather than a hobby. And that's fascinating to me. Yeah, that's what you should do if you want to do it for money.
Yeah.
If you want to use your time efficiently. If you're doing it for fun, then sure, just do it for fun. Why not?
Right. But then you're not care about how much money you're making.
Then you don't care about how much money
you're posting anywhere.
No, you can post if you just want the attention. Why not?
Well, then you're doing it because you're a psychotic.
Or an attention whore. Or whatever it might be.
That's psychotic.
Why is it psychotic?
It's simple. If you're an attention whore, you're psychotic.
Oh, if you're an attention whore, you're psychotic. How do you draw that connection?
Are you serious? You're a narcissist. That's psychotic. That's a psychotic.
Well,
break.
NPD is separate from psychosis.
Is it?
Or psychopathy. Yeah, they're all distinct
So
categories.
you think a person that is a narcissist isn't psychotic?
No. I think psychosis involves things like delusions and
That's
like experiencing things that aren't real. Well,
being a narcissist is delusional.
Maybe. I would say that narcissists draw their energy from other people and they require that as sustenance. They're kind of like time vampires, energy vampires, love vampires, right?
Right.
They suck on those emotions.
So psychotic people.
Well,
like
I think
I
a lot
don't
of
understand
narcissists.
how you don't see as a narcissist a psychotic person.
Maybe we're using different definitions of psychosis. But my general thing is like there are some narcissists who are bad at interacting with reality, and there are some people who display narcissistic traits who are actually pretty decent at interacting with reality because they have to learn to manipulate people to get what they want. Right? They don't have delusions.
Psychopath.
That's
like
a good.
You're explaining like a
no.
A really good person at being a psychopath.
You're confusing psychosis with psychopathy. Those are two different things. So I agree. Psychopathy, psychopathic traits, yes, like lack of empathy, manipulating people, not being able to put yourself in their shoes, not valuing their mental state.
Okay, but here's the deal.
Okay,
if I was really good at all of those things,
yeah,
would you know I was a psychopath?
No, I wouldn't. You could fool me.
Right.
Easily.
That's my point.
You could
you
make
would
me
defend that I was not a psychopath at that point.
No, I wouldn't defend it. I would say so if
No,
you
would if I was really good at it.
No. See, you know why? Because look, I could be a psychopath right now.
Yeah,
I could be manipulating everyone in the audience and you and myself. I could be fooling myself the entire time. Because that's another thing. Narcissists don't necessarily know they're narcissists.
No.
The best liar is the one who believes their own lies.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can believe my own lies like this.
Right. So self-deception allows you to deceive others effectively.
Yeah. Because I believe my own lies. As I'm saying them,
right.
I believe them.
Right.
So I can sell them to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make me psychotic?
Or psychopathic, you mean? Or sociopathic, let's say.
Sociopathic is different. I said
it is different.
Psychopathic.
Well, you said psychotic, which again is different. Psychosis and psychopathy.
Okay. Let's define.
Yeah.
Psychotic. What would you explain as psychotic?
Okay, so psychosis is like a psychotic break. You break from reality. It's like schizophrenia. It's like things that you start to have delusions about reality. You see, you hear things, you believe things that aren't true. That's psychosis.
Okay.
Now, psychopathy
so wouldn't
is
a narcissist be in psychosis if they believed that they were the person that they believed they were?
Well, if you want to go by that definition, then we are all psychotic to some degree because we all have delusions about reality. To some degree.
Yes, and I agree with that.
We all distort reality.
That's my point. Is
all wishful thinking.
Everybody's a little psychotic.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody has a little belief because not everybody sits back and looks at it from a third-person perspective and says, "Oh, that's kind of fucked up." But my point is that nobody does that, and I think the true psychotics are the people that look too far back. And look at everybody's perspective. Everybody thinks that person's a psychopath.
What do you mean?
So, in a situation, I take a crazy perspective on something. Then you take a crazy perspective on something. But the person that can look back and understand the two perspectives, that person's a fucking psychopath.
Because they're able to put themselves out of their own perspective?
Out of their own perspective and look at two different perspectives. That person's always claimed as a psychopath.
Why?
Oh, I don't fucking know why that is, but I'm just saying that's how the world perceives things sometimes. Is the person that can just look past two perspectives and look at it from the outside. Everybody thinks that person's a psychopath because they don't have a drawn out perspective. Like if you say like this is the only way this can be. I think the person that says, well, that might be fucked up. That also might be fucked up. that person's a psychopath.
You're saying the world thinks that person's a psychopath.
I don't think that's truly what it is, but I think that's how the world looks at it.
Okay, I think I have a theory on why that is. Just thinking, because then I would be a psychopath at most things, basically.
Most people would be.
Right.
Because most people assume everybody else thinks the same way they think.
I don't know if that's true.
I do believe that most people think that they're normal.
Interesting. Because I think once you have some life experience, you meet enough people to realize that everybody's different, right? Like you've met so many people.
Most people aren't old.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Like most people are young. So a young person's perspective is most people think the way they think. Otherwise, if they don't think that way, they're probably suicidal.
Why are they suicidal?
Or because they think I'm not even in this world. I don't even think like anybody else thinks.
So I don't belong anywhere.
I don't belong here. I hate myself. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of young people think that fucking shit, and which is weird in an internet age where you would think that most people could find somebody that could think the same way they do. They think they're weirdos. And it's like, no, fucking everybody's weird. Like everybody has different thought processes on shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let it go.
We are all together in being unique.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like I think that like I'm not weirded out by anybody's weird thoughts. I'm just like, okay, I see where you're coming from that perspective, but that's not the way I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I explain how I think, and then I come to terms with the way they look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you want to interview people, Franklin?
Okay, I'll answer that in a sec. I want to address some of the stuff that was said before this.
Okay, all right.
Because it is really interesting to me, because there have been times that people have looked at me as like there's something wrong with me because I can understand their viewpoint. I can articulate it better than they can. I can make a stronger argument for it than they can. And then they're like, but then why don't you follow it? Why don't you do it? Why don't you believe it? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure because I see some of the other side too. And I'm curious about that side. I want to go articulate that argument. And also this third argument and this fourth one. And then suddenly I'm like in philosophy. And I've got like 6 different arguments for political philosophy. And I'm like, man, is classical liberalism really the one I want? And by the way, today I do believe that classical liberalism makes a lot of sense. I think that's the one I'm going with for now. But my point is,
liberalism is a good stance. I understand it, but like every stance, there's breaking points.
Yeah, and we don't need to go into the breaking points in detail this conversation. But,
that's
why I'm open to change.
Long conversation. That's
going to be
go into long conversations.
Yeah, but basically, like I'm open to changing my mind on a lot of things. And where the things are difficult to change are where I experience a lot of negative emotions, right? So where it comes to my self-worth or other things. So you talked about this idea of not belonging. And I brought this up in the last podcast episode as well. Brene Brown's idea from reading Maya Angelou and watching her interviews, she basically said that Maya Angelou is like, when she found her Maya Angelou's work very honest and non-apologetic.
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou or Angelou.
All right. I just want to make sure it's not Michelangelo.
It's not Michelangelo. I also heard it as Michelangelo when Brene Brown said it first. So I have to say like Maya Angelou. Angelou? I need to learn how to pronounce her name.
Okay.
Because I'm going to bring her up. But yeah, Maya Angelou, basically, she was unapologetic and her work was also deeply comforting for Brene Brown. And she had this quote of something like, when you can belong nowhere, then you belong everywhere. And Brene Brown was really confused by this because, in her 200,000 pieces of data as a shame researcher, she knew one thing for sure, which was that in the absence of love and belonging, there is suffering. But then she went and she found the original interview from Maya Angelou, and she saw that line, and the interviewer pushed a little bit. And then Maya Angelou, like he asked her, does that mean that you don't belong anywhere? And Maya said, I belong to Maya. And this led to a whole bunch of breakthroughs for Brene Brown. And then for me, when I watched it, because if you think about it, I was suicidal. I did want to kill myself. while back. And now everything that you said started to connect the dots for me. I was asking myself, well, looking back, why might I have been suicidal? And maybe one of the reasons is because I felt I had no place to be in the world, and also that I would never have a place to be, which is a very pessimistic thought, right? And yet I think a lot of young people feel that way. They either feel like the world is burning and we can't fix it, global warming's killing everything, the economy's dying, everything's expensive. I don't want to grow up in this world. I would rather not exist. That's one thought process. Another one is like, what can I do to fix this? I'm powerless. I'm helpless. It's too painful to live in a world that I can't change positively. And that's another thought. So I don't know which of those I had, or there was probably
you had suicidal thoughts at some point.
Suicidal plans. There were mornings I would just wake up thinking. So it's not just I don't want to exist, because that's an easy suicidal thought.
Yeah.
Right. The difficult suicidal thought is what is the most painless way to go, and also leave the least mess for my family and friends to clean up, or because the real thing that kept me from doing it was that I don't want my dad to come home and find me hanging from a closet or whatever, or that I've used one of his guns. I didn't want to use his guns, I wanted to figure out. And guns are messy. Like if you mess up with a gun, you're just it's
very
you can
hard
be in
to mess
suffering.
Up. It's very hard to mess up from one, but yeah.
No, I mean, he only had long rifles, so it'd be really awkward. Like shotgun in my mouth kind of thing. It's not...
Shotgun in my mouth is definitely going to kill you.
You think so? Okay. Anyway, we don't need to go into the details.
Yeah, we don't need to go into the gory details.
I had read enough stories
shotgun
of
mouth's going to kill you. You're not...
Dude, I've read stories of people who've got bullets in their brain and they didn't die. And they suffered.
That's to terrify people. It's not reality.
Sure. But also, jumping off a building, you can easily break bones and survive, and it sucks.
Yes. But a shotgun in the mouth, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Gonna kill you.
Well, there are better ways, I think.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Let's say let's point out there's better ways. But
you think it's in the top 1% of ways?
You're dying. My point is, you're dying. There's no top percent of ways of dying.
No, but it's not just that. Do I want to leave a forensic crime scene for some professional cleaner to have to deal with? Because I don't want to leave.
But hold on.
Yeah.
You're thinking too much of when you're killing yourself. You're
dead.
No,
look at this. It doesn't matter that I'm dead. I'm still responsible for the after effects of my death.
Yeah, that's the worst way of looking at death. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand somebody looking at themselves killing themselves and worrying about the aftermath. If they worried about the aftermath, they shouldn't be killing themselves.
And that's why I didn't kill myself.
Yeah, right. But
right, there you go.
If you're worried about the aftermath of killing yourself, you shouldn't even be thinking of it, because you're thinking of the future.
Right.
If you're not thinking of the future, killing yourself shouldn't be in the options, because that's the end. That's the end of the book. Right. If you're not writing the future, if you're not writing the epilogue of the book, you're not writing fucking anything else in the book. Killing yourself is not the fucking option. There's no end to that book.
Right.
That book's over.
Yeah.
You killed yourself, you're dead.
But see, I would if I do kill myself, and I'm not going to, don't worry about me.
Okay.
But if I do kill myself, I would like to do it in a way that leaves no mess, no trace. Just disappear. Just vanish.
But
right?
Here's
and
my
leave
problem.
A note and a story explaining it so that there isn't...
Here's my problem. Why?
Okay. Here's why. Because the way that I think about things, especially now, but even back then, I think just this was intuitive to me, is I got to pay my debts, right? If I make a mess, I clean it up. Simple. I mess something up, I try to fix it.
That's a living person's idea, though.
Sure, but I'm a living person planning my death. I'm not a dead person looking back. Right? I haven't died yet. I'm alive.
My point is, a dead person has no...
Sure, but I'm not thinking about my dead self. I'm not doing this for my dead self. I'm doing this for the person who I am before I die.
Right. But you're
I'm doing this for me. No, I'm not dead yet.
No. But as soon as you think you're dead, you're dead.
No. As soon as I act to enact my death, then sure, I can confirm my death.
You can't confirm your death. You're dead.
No, I can confirm it living. So at least I can try to make it as effective as possible.
But you don't know what happens afterwards. You're not understanding the grieving. You're not understanding the people that are affected by it.
The
You don't
loss.
even know the people that are affected by it.
Exactly, and that's the problem with suicide. That's why I think suicide is so harmful to society.
It's selfish.
It is.
That's why I have a biggest problem with it, because it's so selfish. You have no idea who it affects.
Exactly.
There could be somebody that reads an article about you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that's fucked up. Like, why did that person do that? Like, you know, like, how did that affect them? And then that affects them.
Yes. And then it
And
affects
you
their
didn't
family.
see that. Yeah, you didn't see that happening beforehand. You're being so selfish and so self-intensified by your death that you didn't think about that.
Exactly.
That's an asshole move. That's my point. Like, suicide is just so it's fucking stupid. And I will literally say it's fucking retarded. Like, it makes no sense. And you can make sense of it, but it's not optimal sense for anybody else.
Yeah.
And like, yes, if you do it, yes, it's if you are completely in yourself and you're okay with it, sure.
Yep.
You can try to adjust other people to be okay with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can try to say, like, I'm going to kill myself. This is what I'm going to do. I'm sorry. You know, fucking shit's happening. I just want to end this.
Right. Or you could make it look like an accident.
You could.
That would help, right?
That would help.
That would help a lot. Yeah.
It would help, but
it would still suck.
Saying, like,
it would still suck.
It's still gonna suck.
It's still gonna ripple outward.
You're still causing pain.
You're still causing pain. You're
and
taking away your potential.
My point is, you're so much pain that you want to end your pain, but you're causing extramental pain upon that.
Yes.
That's why I don't understand it.
Yeah. Let me also put it in a different perspective for you.
Yeah.
But first, I wanted to go back to something you said about alcohol being a depressant, and some people need depressants, but you are more of a stimulant person, correct?
Yeah.
I've read about really smart people, like very accomplished, very capable, but they could not cope with life for some reason. Maybe they were lacking in wisdom or something else, but they drank cough syrup to numb themselves. They drank alcohol to numb the pain of their thoughts. They committed suicide, right? They did these things, and I don't know why, but I've been looking into it, or at least I was a few years ago, and I was curious about it. And it seems like there's something that comes with, because intelligence is too simple a word, right? It's too simple. There's way more complexity to the human mind and the human experience.
There's, like, just saying somebody's intelligence,
it doesn't mean anything. It's kind of meaningless.
It's meaningless.
Like, I need to understand what happened with these people, like Vincent van Gogh, right? Why did he suffer so much? I need, some of the people with really high IQs and things like that, where either they go off into a hermit hut and make some stuff, or they
I mean, I could try to explain it.
Sure.
But it's all just
conjecture.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Like you
conjecture
say, Vincent Van Gogh. Like, emotion got too much of him.
He cut off his own ear, right?
Yeah, because of some chick, something.
I didn't know it was a chick. Okay, I got to look into it.
Yeah, there was some relationship problem.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say. I don't know the exact details, but there was some relationship problem. He cut off his ear. Blah blah blah. My guess is that his emotions got crossed. Like, emotions and intelligence is the most dangerous combination.
Emotions and intelligence is the most dangerous combination. I see.
Yeah.
So you mean specifically like being a highly emotionally sensitive person or something like that?
Like and intelligent at the same time is fucking terrible. It's easy to be intelligent with no emotions.
Right.
Because you're a computer.
Rational.
Yeah, you're just.
You don't feel angry,
rational.
sad.
You're just straight rational. You just make decisions based on A plus B equals C.
Right, and sometimes you're wrong, but then you learn from it. You don't feel bad with criticism.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. The problem, you correct the algorithm. You go on.
You're a computer. Okay.
Yeah, and
I don't think anyone is like that, but I understand the example.
But psychopaths are.
No, they lack empathy. They still feel emotion. So a lot of psychopathic serial killers, for example, they kill for sexual satisfaction because they do not get sexual satisfaction from intimacy or the regular way. But when they are killing people or dismembering bodies, they do feel that satisfaction. That's kind of what the Dexter TV show was sort of showing. Sort of.
Yeah.
But he had his own
kind of, but he made a code, which was a
he did have a
calculated
code
algorithm.
To only kill serial killers.
Right.
But he really liked what he did, too. It gave him purpose.
Yeah, he created an algorithm for himself.
Right, but my point is that he wasn't doing that just to achieve an end. He liked how it felt. He intrinsically enjoyed the process. And that's my point. Those are emotions.
But X plus C equals satisfaction is still an algorithm.
Well, all emotions are algorithms.
Yeah.
Right? They're just processes in the mind. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you can have emotions that have no algorithmic effect. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have emotions that are not calculated.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that
like the difference between a robot and a human is you can you can see the same thing happen and have different emotions.
Right.
In the Dexter series, he saw X plus Y. It always equaled the same thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I could see two things happen at the same time, but I can still come up with different outcomes.
Right.
Some people can only see one outcome. That's when it becomes algorithmic. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you can see different perspectives on the same variables.
Yeah, you can see if you can see different perspectives on the same problem while you're looking at it, makes you less a lunatic.
Exactly, because you now have you can see from different angles.
Yeah.
You detach yourself from the problem and you begin to consider.
You disassociate from the problem that you have, and you can come with two different outcomes. You choose the outcome. If let's say every time that problem comes away, you only have one outcome, you're a psychopath.
Interesting. I never thought about it that way, because didn't you say the opposite earlier in this conversation, that if you can see multiple perspectives, you're considered a psychopath?
No, that's how people
view it. You're considered, you're not that you are.
You're
but here you're saying you are
a psychopath in that situation. But if you could see it, you're not a psychopath, because you can see the different outcomes and you're making a decision.
Right.
Some people look at that as like a fucking asshole. Because you make a decision on it. You're not, like, some people think that you should be the most emotional approach. If you take the most emotional approach to every problem, you're a fucking good person.
Is that what people think?
I don't fucking know what people think. I'm just saying, you know
what
I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna throw out what people think. I'm just saying,
what do you think?
If you, no. I'm just thinking, like, if it's like if a dog with rabies kills a fucking disabled kid.
Right.
You're looking at it like, fuck, that's fucked up. That sucks for the dog. That sucks for the disabled kid. And then you got to make a decision. And then you got to say, what the fuck's what's the worst? Who's to blame? Because everybody's looking to blame. What if you just say, shit happens?
No one's to blame.
Yeah. What if you say, nobody's to blame? Shit happens.
Yep.
You're a fucking asshole. Because you didn't feel bad for anybody in that situation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how the world will look at it. It's like the world will look at it. It's like, you're a fucking shithead. You didn't fucking feel bad for anybody in that situation. It's like, well, at the same time, both had bad shit going for them.
Yeah.
You know,
and also,
what shit happened.
And what does feeling bad do to fix the problem?
No, it does nothing.
Unless you transform it into, like, hey, let me analyze the system that was at play here. Maybe there was a traffic stop that could have been designed better. Maybe there was wheelchair design could be innovated upon. Maybe we can solve the rabies problem by going out and improving the way that we handle strays.
You could do that. You could do that. But that's like what was it, Thomas Sowell approach? Like, fucking everything has its own drawbacks kind of thing.
Everything has trade-offs. I mean, that's
everything has trade-offs. Exactly. Like, everything has trade-offs. So, like, so you say, well, everything has trade-offs. You could fix it to regulate it to for one thing to happen, but it's going to have a trade-off in the other way.
And you're choosing to do that with your life, the next 5 years, for example, instead of doing something else that might have a higher impact. So the whole effect, there's
always, and like he says, there's always trade-offs. There's always trade-offs.
Yeah, everything in life is a trade-off. You and me having this conversation, we're choosing not to do other things instead. And I'm happy to be here.
I'm choosing not to sleep.
Right. And you have to wake up at 4 a.m. And what time is it for you
tomorrow,
now? Not tomorrow. It's a Sunday.
Fucker. Yeah, it's Sunday.
So I should just interview you on the weekends.
Yeah. Like we're good.
Yeah.
But
well, for me, every day is a weekend, right? So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's always trade-offs. So, like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yes.
It's things don't really matter. And that's what most people have a hard time dealing with. Is most people think things matter, and this is impactful. Most of the time, no.
I'll tell you something, actually.
Makes most people feel like they're a psychopath because they don't care if things matter.
Well, let me think. I brought this up in a previous podcast. Basically, Paul Bloom's idea against empathy, right? So he argued for rational compassion against empathy versus empathy. Because basically, empathy doesn't scale. I can empathize with you right now. You can empathize with your wife and your kids. But you can't empathize with a million people at the same time. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you can be compassionate for them. You can want the best for humanity.
Yeah.
And so he argued that, charities will use the crying kid, with the teardrop rolling down their face to get you to donate. But that might not be the best cause for you to donate to. That $50 could have done more good somewhere else.
Yes.
So you're not being rational, you're being emotional.
Yeah.
And you're making an emotional decision. And in that case, it is a decision that is having a worse impact on the world than one that you could have made instead. But you're feeling good about it. And I agree with you. There is a problem in the world to some degree of moral outrage and righteousness. And this idea of virtue signaling, right? That you are rewarded for showing that you're good, not for actually being good.
Yeah.
And I think I've been learning about masculinity, trying to understand what it is to be a good father, a good husband, a good man, a good whatever it is, right? In society. And I've been realizing, like, integrity involves doing the right thing when no one is looking, right? So some of the best men I know do not show off. They don't post publicly when they don't donate to charity. They don't tell anyone. They keep it a secret. They've been taught from their father that's the culture. You do good and you don't tell anyone. And that's how it is. And I think that's there to counteract this risk that you start to do good so that you look good, not so that you are good or that you are doing good, right? You're not doing it for the impact anymore. You're doing it for the reputation, the status, the prestige. Anyway,
I agree with all this. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to go back to the suicide thing and just wrap that up so that viewers have a little bit more of a positive ending. Because I'm still alive, so
we're not going to have a great ending to suicide, but yeah.
No, we do. I think we're going to have a great. I'll go through it and you tell me if it was great or not.
All right.
So yeah, I was suicidal a few years ago. Living with my dad in a small 400 square foot place together, one studio, basement suite. I had been there about 2.5 years. So this is my first time having my own room in 2.5 years. And part of why I felt suicidal was I felt like my existence was more of a burden on the world than it was contributing positively, right?
Okay.
I basically felt like I was making my dad's life worse. Am I drunk? I just said life's dad. Anyway, I'm not drunk, but...
I gotcha.
Yeah. So I was making his life worse. I was stressing him out. I had all my stuff there. I wasn't cleaning up. My psoriasis, which is much better now, but I have psoriasis. My skin flakes were getting all over the floor. He had to keep dusting. He gave up at some point, right? He stopped cleaning. He stopped showering. I stopped showering. Like, my depression took him into depression. Yeah, and it was fucked up because
that's understandable. That is how it works.
And he's one of the strongest men I know in terms of mental strength and what he's been through in life and his ability to pull himself back.
Yeah.
So that made me feel bad. Right? It's going to be very hard to do that to my father, to see the effects of my existence in his space and not know how to solve it except to cease existing. Which is why
Did you think at that time that would make it easier for her?
No. I knew it would be hard. I knew that. So I had watched a Jordan Peterson video, actually, of him talking about suicide. And he said a lot of the things that you say, that the outward rippling effect, the way that it completely devastates family, friends, society. He said, like, if you're suicidal, try antidepressants. What do you have to lose? Just try them. right? They've helped so many people. Just try them. Now, I don't believe in antidepressants. I've read enough forums of
I don't believe in them either.
But if I'm going to commit suicide, I will try them first because
like
better to mess up my brain than to die.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. What do you got to lose? You don't want to live anymore. Anyway,
yeah, I'm going to cease existing. I might as well try the most extreme option that may save my life.
Yeah,
it's triage. It's emergency medicine.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either. But fucking, you don't want to live anymore. Like, what are you? The fuck?
And just to give some clarification for anyone who is helped by antidepressants, I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
It's just I've read forums where people talk about, there's one called Surviving Antidepressants, where people try to wean themselves off and it's really difficult, and they have a support group and methods and testing and because it's really hard.
You get addicted to it.
Not just addicted, but it changes your brain.
Yeah.
It is literally like risking the very thing that is you. I've known people I've interviewed with ADHD, and they tell me on Ritalin and Adderall, they really don't like themselves. So I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid. My mom got some medication.
Have you ever tried mushrooms?
I never took the medication. Psilocybin. No, I've never tried psilocybin. Mushrooms.
Or LSD?
I've not tried LSD. I've never tried any hallucinogenics.
Well,
I know you were telling me to try it, right?
I'm just saying your perspective changes on a lot of things.
I've heard, yeah.
And I'm not a doctor, at all. So if this is part of the podcast, I'm not a doctor. But I'm just saying, if you want to look at things from outside yourself, sometimes taking a medicine that makes you, I'll call it medicine, that makes you psychotic, and take a look outside yourself might help you understand what's going on.
It could also take you on a bad trip. It goes both ways.
No, it could
Every reward comes with a risk.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I could go fucking terrible. But if you're on the fucking line of I want to kill myself.
Right, then you might as well try.
Yeah,
it can't get much worse from there.
Where do you get to go? I mean, you already want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as long as it doesn't take you to the point where I want to kill other people and myself.
Right, that's even worse.
Yeah. That's when I'm that might be a problem.
Dude, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. There is because I was thinking, okay, this is about as bad as it gets. But no, actually, there's a worse thing, which is I become a school shooter or whatever.
Yeah,
right? That's even worse.
Yeah, there's a level above that. Most people look at it I want to kill myself. That's a fucking bottom. It's no, I want to kill kids, and then I want to kill myself. Then you're really bad. Really fucked up.
Yeah. That's really hard.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab another water.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
No, I was just making a note for my editor. 1 hour 30. So it's been an
hour 30.
You have an editor? I do have an editor. I hired an editor.
No shit.
I pay him $200 a month Canadian. He's very reliable, good. He's the opposite. Dude, you told me about finding a good life partner. Anyway, we'll get into this. Let me write it down.
Okay. All right.
I want to finish the suicide thing because I really want to.
Keep going.
Yeah. So long story short, though, my dad pushed me to get a job, and I did, and I'm very glad I did, because once I had a stable income, I started paying him rent. My life started to get back in order. And I think
you felt responsible for yourself.
I was responsible for myself. I felt responsible for my impact. I was able to buy things. I bought a bidet and installed it on the toilet that my dad could use, and I could use it too. And actually people in New World...
You washed your dad's ass.
Yes, I did. I made a decision that led to my dad's ass being cleaner.
You cleaned your own dad's ass. That's
nice. And he didn't tell me to. I was I had this idea. I'm I'm going to improve our house somehow. Okay, bidet. Because you've heard that analogy, right? If you step in dog poop and you're not going to use toilet paper to clean it, you're going to wash it with water and some soap. Yeah. So why wouldn't you do that with your own ass, right? So
that's perfect. You and your dad's ass were much cleaner because you got a job. That's fucking fantastic.
Exactly. Anyway, that's the job I quit, by the way. So now
so
I
your dad's got a dirty ass.
No. He has the bidet there. I've been messaging him.
The bidet is instilled. Your dad still has a clean ass. And now you moved on. Well, you're making championship rungs here. You cleaned your dad's ass and you moved on, and you're being a better person now.
So I went from suicide to cleaning my dad's ass.
I'm going to kill myself, and I'm cleaning the shit on my dad's ass.
Nice progression.
Great. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic, dude.
Dude, I hope someone who's suicidal can watch this at some
Yeah,
point.
and fucking clean their dad's ass.
And just realize that, it gets better. And you can one day you'll look back and you'll laugh about it.
Clean your dad's ass. You don't have to be suicidal. If you can get your dad's ass clean, you're fucking moving up.
You're moving up in the world. That's step one.
Blow your brains
Dude,
out.
I swear, if this episode blows up, we'll just see sales of bidets just like skyrocket.
Yeah, fucking just get your dad a bidet.
And then we'll
Why
just
are
see
you
like
killing yourself.
And then it's like depression, suicide rates just plummet.
Yeah.
And psychologists studying the data a few years later are like, what happened at the beginning of 2023, like March? What the hell happened?
Yeah, it was simple.
And then they'll come up with some complicated theory, but it was just like bidets and people getting their life in order and taking responsibility.
It was simple. Jordan Peterson had it all wrong. If you just blew water at your dad's ass, even if you put it in your mouth and shot it at your dad's ass, fucking life gets better. It makes sense.
But anyway, what Jordan Peterson said in that video made me cry. And I actually showed that video to my dad, and we watched it together. And I think after that video, I was no longer suicidal. Right? That video probably, I wouldn't say it saved my life, because I was still pretty far from enacting a plan. You know me, I'm an overthinker, not an implementer, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can think of 100 different ways to kill myself that are all effective and then not do them, not actually do it, right? So, because having the courage
like
to...
fucking spreadsheet, fucking kill myself
like how much
way, this is what's gonna happen.
So just sort by like, okay, how much of a mess does it leave?
Yeah.
Is it too many unanswered questions? Like, do they get a body for the funeral, right? Like, because they need a body, or they'd want to see my body after I'm dead.
Yeah, with the cost.
Can I make it look like an accident? Yeah. Can I get my affairs in order? Like, write a will? Like, because let's say I get cancer and I'm gonna die in 6 months, the doctor tells me. Then I can get my life in order and I can tell people I love them and all that, right? So if I'm gonna commit suicide, I might as well do that, right? And then probably after doing that for 6 months, I'd probably be a lot happier. Right? Because I would have told people what I really wanted to tell them. Like, if it's your last day on Earth, you probably will go and tell people that you haven't told you love them that you love them. And your life will probably become better because they'll probably tell you, like, wow, I didn't know that. I'm really...
Would your life be better?
I think so. I think if you lived every day like it was your last, except the only issue is that you don't save money. You don't plan ahead. You become hedonistic. You would just go... If you just go cocaine, booze, like cocaine and hookers... route,
that's
then
you
wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but that's not who I am, right?
Would it be technically better?
So most of my regrets in life are not
good for me, not for everybody else.
No, so okay, fair enough. That's a good point.
Yeah.
The problem is most of my regrets in life are because I didn't tell people things I wanted to tell them, or because I didn't do things that I wanted to do. So I missed opportunities.
Honestly, Franklin.
Go ahead.
This is like my best words of wisdom here.
Okay.
All right. When I was younger, when I was probably like 17, 18, I hated regrets. I hated regretting things. The only time I ever regretted something was when I didn't say what I wanted to say at the moment.
And that's how you learned to be the way you are today, which is honest.
So,
don't hold back.
Like, so anytime in my younger days, I was like, fuck, I should have told that guy I was a fucking asshole when he was being an asshole. And I was like, motherfucker, that burnt me up more than anything else in my life. Anything else.
Okay.
Like, it could have been all the worst shit that ever happened to me. It was when I didn't say what I need to say at the moment.
Right. And then you regret it. You're in the shower 30 minutes later and you're like, I should have said this.
Motherfucker. I should have told that guy he was a piece of shit. I should have stood up for somebody when I didn't. I should have, like, all those regrets, that's the worst regrets that you ever have in life. Is when you didn't stick up for yourself, stick up for somebody else.
Right.
When you're a bitch.
Yep.
When you shouldn't have been.
Yep.
That is the worst moments in life.
When you lack the courage to do what you know you were capable of.
What you know what's right.
Yeah.
And you don't do what's right. That is the shit that haunts you.
And you can't sleep at night. And I know this. And it just stacks up.
That's things in my life that I regret.
Yeah,
and
so I'm
I
saying
have
if I
very little regrets.
right.
But it's those that are motherfuckers.
Yeah, and this is an important lesson for anyone listening, and I'm taking away from this a big thing because like I'm trying to live my life without regrets now. I quit my job, I'm full sending it on the stuff that I love. I'm constantly asking myself throughout the day, do I love what I'm doing?
Yeah.
No. How can I start loving it? What can I do? And am I not telling someone something that I should be telling them? That's why I messaged you in Hangover, right? I was like, look, Holly, I remember you. Let's talk.
But
no regrets.
Yes.
I messaged Jason.
Don't worry about what the other person says. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is when you worry about what somebody else is going to say but you didn't say it.
Yeah.
That's the shit that kills you.
Because people will always surprise you. And honestly, to be honest, I've found people always pleasantly surprise me. They delight me. Like, they are way better than I expect. Like, they do things that I never even predicted. And I'm like, why was I so afraid? And it's my anxious mind. It goes into all these possibilities, the worst case scenarios.
Yes, you try to think of what they're going to say. Stop.
Yeah. Stop.
Don't think of what they're going to say.
You can't predict them. Don't even try.
You're not trying to predict what they're going to say. Say what you need to say.
And then let them decide what they're going to say.
And then let them decide and let it go.
Yeah.
Like, if
whatever the outcome, accept it.
Positive, it's negative, just fucking let it go.
Yep.
But you got to get what you need to say out. Because if you don't, you're gonna
regret it.
Motherfucker. It's a motherfucker.
And this you're saying this literally 22 years after your regrets, you regret them still.
Oh yeah, fucking sure. Yeah, I fucking hate it. I fucking despise it. The shit that I didn't say.
But you're glad that you're living better now.
And the things you'll remember,
yeah,
like the great times that even they were not even good experiences.
Were when you had the courage.
It was when you had the courage to say what you had to say, even though it wasn't a good experience.
Yeah,
you said what you had to say,
and it'll feel good. I've had that experience. I hope the listeners can relate to this. Like, think of a time in your life when you just said what you had to say, and you just did it, and you mustered the courage, and then you were glad, and you were relieved, and you were just like, that burden was gone, right? So that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to die in 6 months, and I spend the last 6 months doing that, living with no regrets, I'm not going to commit suicide after 6 months.
No, absolutely not. You'd fucking love life.
I would have turned my life around.
Yeah.
And people would love me more. I would be more effective. I would be doing greater things just because I would be less fearful. I would be less worried. I would be living my values out better. I would just be living life like there were no consequences. But now this is the opposite of the hookers and blow option or whatever. Hookers and, but I think you can do both.
It's still a good option.
Yeah. I think you can do either. I would go with, well, I've never used drugs, right? So my tendency is to go with
well, if you've never done hookers and blow, it's like it's a good option. I mean, if you're going to go out quietly,
maybe I'll ask Jason to help me try some of that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever do drugs, but I might try hookers. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I would. Well, I would try blow first, and then
you try blow first, dude. Cocaine seems really dangerous. Or you think hookers are dangerous too?
Well, you know what? Cocaine's more dangerous now. Do the fentanyl and shit like that
because it's being cut with other stuff. You need pure cocaine, which is hard to get. Yeah,
if you can get pure cocaine, it's a good time.
Okay, but anyway, I think first I'll try for an intimate, genuine relationship. Right? I don't think paying for sex
that should be what everybody's shooting for. The hookers and cocaine is like that's the last stop.
But I'm looking forward to asking your brother about why he chose hookers, how the experience was, and all that. If he's willing to share, that would be interesting.
That wasn't first stop.
He tried other stuff.
Yeah, you get to hookers and cocaine. You don't start at hookers and cocaine. You're like, I didn't have any relationships, but let's start with hookers and cocaine. That's a bad choice.
Right.
Yeah, you want to start with like, I had some relationships. They didn't work out. I don't know how this shit's going. I don't know where my life's going right now. Hookers and cocaine. You're still young enough. You have options. You don't go.
Was he like 40 when he did hookers and cocaine, or what?
Hookers and cocaine. He was already divorced.
He was already divorced. Okay, so he'd already been.
Yeah, you don't want to go hookers and cocaine before your first relationship. Like that's hookers and cocaine's way late.
Yeah,
way late. You do that shit later.
I understand.
Yeah.
I did have one relationship.
I'm in cell.
Yeah.
Hookers and cocaine.
By the way,
That's not how it goes.
Just in the spirit of full disclosure and transparency, I did have one relationship. It was online. It wasn't a good idea.
Doesn't count.
It wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. Online relationship doesn't count.
It lasted a few months. I think I was 17 or 18 and she was 15 or 16. So it really wasn't a good idea. It was pretty close to statutory. Like,
all right, I need to get another drink.
All right,
I'll be right back.
I'll note down the timestamp for my editor. Go for it.
All right. Raglan, what?
Yeah,
what?
What?
She was how old? What?
She was 15 or 16. We never met. It was online.
Yeah. So she said, okay, we'll do this.
Hold on.
She said she was
15 or 16 at the time.
Okay, she said she was 15 or 16.
And I was about 17 or 18 at the time.
Well, that's true because you're saying it.
Yeah, well, let me think. I might have been 19, so I don't want to lie, right? The whole point of saying stuff to get it off your chest is to say the truth, because otherwise you're going to regret lying later.
Oh, well, you're saying the truth. I'm just saying what she said is
what she said.
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe
and it's not like I ever looked at her ID to verify her age.
Right, exactly.
So fair enough.
That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know.
Not a real relationship, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but anyway, it gave me some experience at least of like, I don't know, an internet relationship and trust with another human being that was of the opposite gender.
Right.
But I guess
trust in talking with a female.
Yeah, trust in talking with a female on a detailed one-on-one level.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot about myself, my insecurities, my problems. So I'm glad overall that I went through it, but I feel bad for her because I don't know what she expected.
Well, who broke it up?
I think she broke it off.
You think?
No. I remember. She did break it off.
Okay.
But
I was like, well, we're gonna
honestly, I don't want to breach her privacy, but it was really bad because she broke it off because a boy in real life was pressuring her. And he ended up sexually assaulting her. And it really sucked. And
terrible.
And I felt really guilty because I saw the signs because he was trying to get her to disconnect from her online friends, me included. He was trying to get her. And this is what abusive people do, right? They tend to isolate their victims.
I think any dude would do that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not just me, though. He was doing that with all of her friends, not just me.
Okay, so but I'm just saying, like, online people, I'd be like, what are you talking about online people? What the fuck? Like, we have a real relationship. Stop talking to online dudes.
Yeah. It's not just that. I saw a bunch of red flags that I tried to warn her about, but I've noticed this is part of my issue. Like, my intuition is a lot stronger than my ability to put things into concepts and words. So, like, I couldn't list out to her the, 20 red flags I saw. I could list out, 2. And then the 18 were intuitive. But they were real. I just couldn't put them into words.
Yeah, but you got to remember you're also the other person that's interested. You're the other interested party, so nothing's
right, so I'm
biased.
Come out.
Yeah, you're biased.
I'm biased. True. Because at that time, a lot of my mindset was I want her to be happy. So if she wants to break up with me to make her life better, I was okay with that, right? I wanted her to be happy.
Of course you
And I think I've always had this
online relationship.
No, even in real life relationships, I've always had this approach of like, what? You don't want the other person to be happy?
No, I'm just saying, like, if it's not online, it's different.
Fair. Maybe it's harder to have that approach, possibly. Yeah. Yes. But I definitely was attached to her emotionally. It's more that I realized that she needed to move on with her life, that we weren't going to meet up anytime soon. We were in different countries. So really, I am making her life worse by being in it rather than better. And that's not good for me, right? Or that's not good for either of us. I don't want to be that. So yeah, it ended up breaking off. She went through a bunch of stuff since then. I caught up with her recently. We chatted a bit. I think we had a falling out over like some political stuff. Like she wanted me to get vaccinated. And I told her I had been vaccinated for my job because my job requires 2 vaccinations, government job. But then we had, like I sent her some resources on how, I'm not really convinced that the vaccination is actually helping stop the spread of COVID or reduce it. And I guess she got really, from my perspective, she got really emotional. She would tell the story differently. But from my perspective, we had an argument about individual liberty and things like that. And it's weird because she told me she was converting to Judaism. She was becoming a Jew. And she was saying that one of the things in that subsect of Jewish culture.
It was also barely impossible to become Judaism, like convert.
I didn't know it was impossible.
It's barely impossible.
But she did it.
She said she did.
I mean, I can find the details of the sect that she named and everything, but she said one of the things she had been learning, because apparently it's a scholarly process. You have to learn a lot to then become a Jew.
Yeah.
So she had to learn a lot of scripture and stuff.
It's fucking damn near impossible to become a Jew.
But just one ironic thing in that conversation was she said that one of the rules that she's following is that if there's a conflict or contradiction of information or something she doesn't know, she is morally obligated to seek out answers and truth seek.
Okay.
So when we were in our discussion and then she kind of was not doing that, I was kind of like, should I bring that up or will that just make her more mad? So I didn't end up bringing it up, and maybe that's one of my regrets. I didn't end up putting that moral conflict in her face that, hey, you said you should be curious, but you're not being curious. You're just believing in only what you think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but that's on another person.
That's
like,
sure.
Like I never worry about. I never have a regret about
what they chose to do.
Somebody.
No, but I didn't have to convince her. If I just said the thing and then she responded so it would have been great. Either she responds positively and we work on it, or she responds negatively and I leave. And either way, I have no regrets. But now I have regrets because I didn't do that.
Yeah, but that's like a I told you so kind of regret. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotcha. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not really a gotcha. It's more like, did I do everything in my power to try to fix that,
You can't fix other people, though.
No, you can't fix it, but did I do everything in my control? And once I've done that, then I don't have to worry about it because it's out of my control.
It was already her, so it was already out of control. That's what,
that's true.
That's how I look at it. It's like, if it's another person,
mm-hmm.
it's already out of your control.
So just focus on myself.
The only person you can control is you.
Right. So the best thing I can do is just apologize or just to try to learn from it and just move on. Yeah.
Sorry. Nice talking to you. Doop. That's it. Like I don't dwell on other people, the way they look at things. Like that's the way they look at shit. Fucking you do you. Like, it's not a problem to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, and I want to just pull this back to the suicide thing and close it out because I remember you said you don't think this could be great. But remember when I said, and we both said, like you said something about young people being depressed in part because they can't change the world or they don't feel like they can impact it, or I said part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what I realized is changing the world is a lot easier than you think. Of course, I do. And of course, it begins with changing yourself. Mm-hmm. And it begins with washing your dad's ass. And then going from there, you build upward from there.
Okay.
And the incremental growth, let's just say that jet stream of water
you're just cleaning your way up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can, like, if you wanted to, I bet in the next 10 years, you could wash 1 million people's asses.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if you wanted to, you could.
You could.
You just have to decide. You just have to decide that that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
I want to start a bidet company
of ass washing.
Yes. But that's my point. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. That's why I started this podcast, to show people that you can be an ordinary human and choose to make extraordinary choices today.
You could.
You could. And I made the choice.
I'm a pessimist on that one.
Go ahead.
I don't think people can wash people's asses. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I did. Once. I didn't do it a million times. I did it once.
No, you did more than once. You put a bidet in your dad's
ass. I did.
His ass is always clean, dude.
I gave him a lifetime of ass washing.
Yeah, you hooked him up for his ass is never going to be cleaner.
And it took me 4 hours. I was sitting on the floor with the manual, webcam on. People from New World Guild were like helping me.
Helping you clean your dad's ass? That's
helping me install the bidet.
No. That's what you got to look at the outcome.
Outcome.
Yes, at that time they were helping you make a bidet, but at the same time they were cleaning your dad's ass.
And the funny thing is, one of the people helping me, we finally finished because I don't know anything about plumbing. All of these people are like men's.
Yeah,
they knew what they were doing. But he basically told me, good luck now, because you're gonna end up using more toilet paper drying the ass than you are than you were cleaning it. And he was right. It turned out to be the case. So we're using more toilet.
Just drip dry.
Just drip dry. Maybe.
Yeah, you gotta shoot that shit power hose. And
but here's the thing:
dry in front of the bidet.
So sure, we're using more toilet paper, but toilet paper's cheap, and at least our asses are cleaner.
Well, you can always use a rag.
Yeah. If it's actually clean.
Think about it.
You're right.
If your
Once
ass
it's a clean
is actually clean.
Yeah. then yeah,
wipe it with a rag.
You can just wipe it with a rag and use the rag
and
then put it in the laundry
in
every
your
week.
ass with the same rag.
No, this is like the poop knife story. Yeah. No. Have you read the poop knife story on Reddit? No. Okay. Jeez.
Oh shit. You could be wiping your dad's ass. You could be wiping your ass with the same rag that your dad wiped his ass.
No, that's like using the same toothbrush. It's just no.
No, it's not. You both
okay, we're not gonna get into it. I get it. It's a clean ass. It's like using the same towel. But
it's only if a motherfucker leaves hairs on the rag. That's kind of fucked up because then you're entwining.
But that'll happen.
Hairs into your ass hairs.
Hold on, that'll happen because we're Indian, right? You know how hairy we are. It's gonna happen.
I didn't say shit. He said that. He said that.
Oh wait, why is that a racist thing to say?
I don't know, but I'm just saying he said that.
Okay,
I don't mind saying people have hairy asses. He said that.
Well, I know I have a hairy ass. Okay, so there you go.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyway,
have hairy asses.
So
I didn't say that. He said that.
So if you asked me 5 years ago, do I think I would have a podcast, that I would have 2 startups, that I would be learning project management and trying to become a project manager and change my career, trying to double my income, all these things, I would have been like, hell no, that doesn't sound like me, right? But today I've realized that so many things. Huh?
I saw this.
You saw this when? 1.5 years ago, not 5 years ago.
When I talked to you.
That was 1.5 years ago.
I already told you should add a podcast.
Did you?
The first time I talked to you. I was like, you want to interview people, you need to have a podcast to do this shit. You can't just talk to people like this. I said, don't talk to people like this randomly. You gotta fucking have a podcast to talk to people like this.
Dude, I remember being in that channel with you and Upper Deuce Jason, your brother, and all these other people, and we just talked like pissing, drugs.
You need to fucking record this shit. This is gold.
This is gold.
You can't just talk to people fucking randomly. You have to fucking record it. Then it makes money.
Yeah. So this brings us back to, would I rather spend 10 minutes having sex with a girl and then sleeping for the night, or having a great 1.5 hour, 2 hour podcast with them, and that being the experience and the result? And I'm like, dude, I would take the podcast any day.
You made them
any day of the week.
You made them.
Any day.
That's because you have a good sex for a night with a female. As soon as you do that, you might fucking change your mind. Dude, if this podcast takes off, you might change your mind.
Okay, listen to me.
What?
Verbally fucking you is great. Like, I haven't had sex, so I can't compare it to sex, but I'm going to tell you, this is my favorite thing to do in life right now. As far as I know, this is the best thing I've ever done. Like, I love this intrinsic experience of connecting with another human being deeply.
What, talking to me?
Talking to you, looking into your eyes. Christ. Dude, okay, watch the previous episode, like, at some point. You don't have to do it tonight, but we can watch it together if you want.
I will. Yeah. Was it as insane as this?
No. This is the most insane by far.
I'm sure it wasn't.
But that was the best one so far, until this one, where I felt like I had connected with him as a person. And he was a complete stranger. You and I have talked before. I had only texted with him. He knew my personality from text chat. I knew his from text chat. That's it. Then we talked.
I literally can't wait for you to do this with my brother.
I want to see that.
That's going to be exciting to me, to see the shit that comes out of his mouth. Because I'm sure he's going to watch this and be like, fuck, that was fucking hilarious. And then when I watch his, I'm going to be like, that was fucking funny as fuck.
Dude, I just hope YouTube doesn't delete my channel. That's all I'm going to say.
I didn't say anything that fucked up. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It depends on the subject you start. If you want to start crazy subjects, I'll fucking go into it, but we were fine.
Honestly, if that's what happens, I will go to Locals. Like, Locals is another video hosting site that is for people who've been canceled on YouTube. So I'll do that.
Yeah, we didn't do anything bad.
There are always options. I'm not worried.
You were good. It was good. You're a good boy. We didn't do anything crazy.
I think this has been the craziest episode by like at least 3 magnitudes of order, which is
how many episodes have you had?
8. Or 9. This is my 9th, I think.
9? I got the craziest?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, if we go for 100, if we go for 100 episodes, okay. Wait, that means, hold on, that means Jason is going to be number 10.
Yeah.
He's going to be number 10.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to beat me. I'm funny. He'll be serious as fuck as he's saying crazy shit.
Yeah, he'll explain day trading.
He's gonna be like serious as hell. Well,
he gave me good advice.
Shit.
He was like, "Hey, this is what you can do in 5 years. Here's how you can get your life in order." So just for the listeners, Jason is Chris's brother here, and Jason like basically set a goal to retire in 5 years, and he became a day trader. He learned day trading, and now he's retired at age what?
He's serious. Like,
well, how old is he?
I'm not serious. He's 11 months younger than me. So
like 42. Yeah. Okay, he's 42 years old, and he's retired. So great. Yeah. He retired at 42.
Retired Air Force.
Yeah, retired Air Force.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to message him after this episode.
Yeah.
So that you can get him in a row. So you can get that shit out in a row.
Yeah, we'll have Chris and then Jason.
Yeah, and it'll just start that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, like, can you connect me with more people? Like, what I've loved about the podcast is the guests are like, hey, I'll bring my mom on. I'll bring my wife in. I'll bring this in. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, it's the network effect. Each person is bringing me like 2 new people. So I don't have to look for people.
I can get you fucking crazy shit.
Dude, like, I made myself a rule. And I said, I knew you would take advantage of this rule. So just for context, Holliander, Chris here, he used to love to mess with me. Like, if he knew that I would do what he said, he would tell me to do crazy things, right? Because he knows I'm committed to trying the thing. So I have committed that I will interview anyone in the world who wants to be interviewed at least once. So you can do some crazy shit. You can go grab the homeless person on the street and bring them in and go like, hey, podcast, let's do it.
I could literally just go through people at my work and just fucking get you the craziest fucking motherfuckers in the world.
Dude, and I want to interview Planet Smasher. I loved him. I want to interview Deku.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
Like,
I like Planet Smasher's great. Yeah, I love the stories he told about his daughter.
Very interesting person.
Yeah, he's amazing
for sure.
Do you know his first name? I guess don't say it on stream because he should get to decide if.
Honestly, I knew it,
but
I called him Planet Smasher so much. I fucking forget the fucking first name. Like, I know first names to a bunch of people. Even Johnny. Johnny would be an interesting interview.
Yeah, so help me find these people. Like, and this is what you do. You find people to bring into your MMO. You can help me with the podcast.
I mean, everybody from Hangover is a fucking probably Mike.
Mike, I don't remember Mike. Do I? What was his in-game name?
His name right now on the server is Garfield. Something or other.
Sounds a little familiar now.
He changed it. It's Dicko Mode was his
name. Oh, I remember Dicko Mode. Yes, the frog guy. The frog guy who was living with Deku and Carius. Yes.
Yeah. He's no longer living with, but like, fucking.
Oh, he's living on his own?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to hear his update. Interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear his update.
His interview would be fucking interesting as fuck.
I'm just writing down the notes. So, Sicko Mode, Planet Smasher. Anyway, I'll get these. I'm making a spreadsheet, of course.
But yeah, I could feed you interviews that would fucking blow my mind. I just want to watch them.
Dude, okay.
That's why I look at it. I was like, would I want to watch this? I'm like, yeah, I would want to watch that.
That's why I'm going to get him on. Yeah, I'm the resource. I'll create the content for you to watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, I did a 7-hour podcast and then a 2-hour podcast in the same day back to back.
You did,
and I was tired.
Podcast?
I did a 7-hour podcast. It's like episode 5 or 6. Yeah.
With who?
Justin. He was also from the New World Guild long ago. Not Knights of Shadowhawk, back when I first started.
He talked for 7 hours?
We both talked. And he's INTP like me in the Myers-Briggs. So I think we just went on tangents. Also, I've noticed I've interviewed like 4 INTP people. So there's a pattern. Like maybe INTP people like each other.
What is INTP? What does that
mean?
So
it's like, I don't know. Like Justin has been studying it for 13 plus years, so he knows better. It's basically like introverted, perceiving, intuition, and thinking. Those are like the 4 things. And the idea is the opposite will be like sensing and judging and all these other things. So like other people want a trail of evidence, they want a trail of logic. Me, I use my intuition. That's how I can come to crazy predictions and conclusions and be right. And people are just like, you just made a lucky guess. And I'm like, no, I saw the signs. Like, he looked like this, he said this, therefore he was going to do this.
So you're basically racist.
Yes, but for behaviors... For behavior, I'm behaviorist, let's say.
Oh my God. That was my best joke for the whole fucking night. Shit.
I'm glad I played into it, right? I'm glad I played into it. Because now you can just...
Way up.
And then
so my intuition, I'm always right. Oh, you're basically racist.
Okay. It's not that I'm always right. It's that... So Justin was talking about how he could predict the weather. Like a gust would come in through the workplace and he'd say it's going to rain. And his coworkers like, you can never know that. And then they'd walk out 2 hours later to leave and it's raining. And his colleague is like, what the hell? You know, he predicted the snow by seeing the way the birds were and the air pressure and temperature. So basically we develop an intuition for things. For me, I think people is my geek niche. It's what I'm interested in.
That's not intuition. That's just like seeing more signs than other people.
Yeah, but you can't always put them into words.
That's
like
why
saying,
you could just I saw a black guy on the corner. He was definitely dealing drugs. That's intuition.
I don't know if that's intuition. That's kind of statistics, right? Like,
no, that's racist.
That's racist? Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
It
depends what he's doing, right? Like, is he just standing there waiting for people? Does he have a coat that could hold drugs? And like,
depends on how racist you are.
No, like I want to go ask the guy. Yeah, I want to go just ask the guy. I could maybe interview him, right? Like, what's it like being a drug dealer? And then he says, "I'm just waiting for my Uber, man." I'm like, "Whoops, sorry."
I want to see that episode.
Dude, I recorded a conversation with an Uber driver, by the way.
Did you really?
Like, when I took the Uber to the CRA to drop off my stuff, right? Like, I actually took 2 Ubers back and forth to go places because I don't drive. And I had 4 conversations with each driver.
There were so many topics we need to talk about on another time.
Yeah. Like, let's end it soon. Here.
I literally have to write down things. Like, I'm like, wait, what?
Uber driver interview.
Yeah, like, doesn't drive. Hold on. We got to talk about that.
Wait, no, I plan to learn to drive. So I started an esports startup. Yeah, that's going to go on the notepad.
That's like I said. We need to write that down. Need to go over that.
Yeah, so I started an esports startup with a friend, Evan, who I met in League of Legends many years ago, 5+ years ago.
Okay.
We recently reconnected.
Started esports startup. Yep.
He moved from Seattle. He moved from Seattle to Vancouver recently.
Yeah.
So he's living in Vancouver right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the first Uber I took was actually to his house, to visit his house for the first time.
Okay.
So I met him and his 2 dogs.
Dude in Vancouver. Okay. Yeah. I got it.
I met him and his 2 dogs and his wife, and they were all very nice. And I don't know why I mentioned the dogs before the wife, but you know.
Fuck his dogs, not his wife. Hold on, I'm writing it down.
I mean, no, I played games with his wife. We played Dinkum.
Oh, holy shit. Played games with his wife. Put that down.
Okay, it's not what it sounds like.
Fucked his dogs and played games with his wife.
And then I took one of his dogs for a walk. The name of the dog was
Jesus Christ.
Bao
You took a dog for the walk? What the fuck are you doing? You're fucking out of control.
It was good exercise. Me and Evan went for a walk with the dog.
Of course it was good exercise. You took that dog for a fucking walk.
Dude, I don't know the innuendo you're referring to be honest.
I know, but people are going to enjoy this later.
Yeah, they are. It's fun. Be like, dude, this has definitely been the most energetic podcast. This is like being just chilling with friends and recording it, basically, right?
Well, that's how it's going to be with me.
Yeah, and probably with most people you introduce me to. Well, maybe.
No, that's not true.
No, not true. You're just like that.
No, I'm at a different energy level.
So, how much time do you have, really? Let's check.
Do I really have? I shouldn't be up right now, but fucking I don't care.
Okay. Well, so you want to wrap it up in 10 minutes, or you want to keep going until you decide that you're 10 minutes away from being done?
It's your time.
Dude, I can go for 7 hours.
I'm not recording a podcast.
I can go for 7 hours. Are you prepared?
You want to do more?
Dude, I'm loving this, aren't you?
I'm loving it because I get to talk shit the whole time.
Exactly. So anyway, you tell me when you're getting tired.
I ran out of alcohol, so now I'm just talking shit straight out.
I need to can I skip the dishes, use some alcohol or whatever? Uber Eats, use some alcohol?
No.
Is that the answer?
That works here.
Oh, wait. How remote are you? Like suburbs,
not
rural?
That remote.
You'd think it would work. I'm pretty sure.
I don't want to. But if anybody shows up at my house right now, I'd shoot them. Kind of thing.
You're okay. Fair enough. Yeah, you don't want delivery of anything. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So okay, I want to go back to just let me know when we're 10 minutes away from you wanting to go to bed or whatever,
right.
and then we'll wrap up.
I just don't want to interrupt you with me having to get water and having to piss.
No, editor can edit all that out.
Are you serious?
Like, okay, look at the no context voice chat in my Discord. I've been typing in all the timestamps of when you.
Oh really?
Of when you went to.
Type a timestamp in right now because I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Piss
Yeah.
and
So 2 hours and 8 minutes.
And then I'll fucking be ready to go for another half an hour and probably end this.
Yeah. 2 hours. And I have like 10 DMs, dude. This is ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Be right back.
I just put in some notes in there. You can read them if you want. Or I can read them out for the podcast here.
No,
so I wrote, by the way, this is the most wild, unexpected podcast episode ever. This is like 3 magnitudes more weird and honest than any podcast episode so far. We've discussed sex, drugs, alcohol, prostitution, murder, etc. Some crazy stuff. If you thought our talk was taboo, I should put in suicide actually instead of murder.
Yeah.
We did kind of like because the knife on your desk, you stab people with it, kind of thing.
I didn't say that.
No, I said that.
That's gonna put me up for murder.
Nah, you're fine.
After they check the fingerprints.
Oh, we did discuss cocaine, so yeah.
Okay. That's true.
By the way, Fifth Amendment, right to not self-incriminate. But yeah,
I don't think that works here. But
it
that's
doesn't
fine.
work here. It doesn't. It doesn't. It
I don't
doesn't.
think that's how.
This
I don't
would
think
work
that's how
as
law
evidence.
works.
Yeah. Just don't admit to any crimes.
Luckily,
okay?
I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, neither have I. I mean, thank goodness. I think my mind would be a mess if I had committed murder in my life. Like that would be really hard to sleep with, deal with.
You think
Personally,
so?
anyway. I think so.
What if they were a piece of shit?
I mean, consider that I have trouble sleeping at night because I didn't email someone back 5 years ago, and I want to email them back today.
What if they were a real piece of garbage?
Let's get into that next episode.
Let's say they were a horrible person.
Yeah.
And you saved everybody else from having to deal with that person. Would you actually sleep worse?
Okay, so I might sleep better if they were about to kill like a bunch of other people and then I killed them. Yeah. But I think I would still have PTSD of some kind, like because it's not easy killing a human being when you haven't practiced it. Like I wasn't trained by the military. I'm not used to it. Like,
oh, when do you have time to practice that?
Yeah, that's the problem. You kind of need to take it instead.
You're not getting a lot of chances to kill somebody. I'm just saying, like, let's say this guy was going to be like a school shooter and he was going to shoot like 14 kids and you killed them.
You got to do it in the moment.
That was your one chance.
Yeah.
You did it.
Dude,
you think you're going to sleep worse? I think I'll sleep a hell of a lot better than I've ever have.
The thing is, you've trained in guns, you own a gun, you've practiced this, you've been through some experiences, just like your mental experiences with alcohol. You have some experience using guns.
Yeah, right? Using guns, but like I'm
not on people. I understand. Yeah. But here's my point. Like I will still have nightmares of the blood and the gore and the fact that I took a human life, and it'll take time to get over that.
Okay, how much gore do you think is happening when you shoot somebody?
Not a massive amount. I understand. It depends, hollow point bullets or not, or
like it's not that much.
Like there'll be some blood splatter, and there'll be a
very
body.
Very little.
But I think it's an emotional kind
of. If you're a good shot, you'd be.
I'm not a good shot.
Yeah, I'm saying practice.
What do you aim for? Center mass?
That's military standard.
Do you aim for head? Because headshots, I think, are video games.
Are you asking what I'm doing? I have never shot somebody. I don't know.
You shot targets that simulated human beings, right?
Yeah, most targets for center mass on targets because
good
that's
to know.
Easiest to hit.
Right. So if I hit an artery or something, it's going to be messy. It's going to be messy.
A little bit. You never seen blood before?
I have not seen blood spurting out of a human being in front of me.
It's not that bad.
It can be really bad, dude. Like blood pressure in human beings is powerful.
Good.
Like it'll be like a spray.
Yeah, this is blood.
Like, there'll be sprinklers of blood flowing from the bullet holes. If I hit the artery, if I don't, it'll just be leaking.
Never been a hard day of rain?
Okay, fair enough.
Blood.
Fair enough.
It's not that bad.
I think the idea of taking a human life has intrinsic guilt and shame associated with it. And that's a healthy thing to some degree because we don't want to be killing people randomly. We don't want it to be easy for people to kill others, right? We want it to be hard. We want there to be barriers, emotional barriers, all sorts of barriers, legal barriers, physical barriers.
You'd like to think so. Yeah.
But I mean, also you've said you have sociopathic traits or psychopathic traits, so I can understand your perspective that you'll sleep at night.
Yeah, probably. I mean, justified.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame you for sleeping well at night, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should, like, I'm not, because you talked about people wanting you to feel emotional.
Person, that's a little insane, but.
Right. If you just go on the street, shoot someone, then that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And here's the thing, even if you're a psychopath, you know that's bad, because why do you want to randomly destroy someone for no benefit, right? It doesn't make sense.
I can understand where they're coming from too, though.
Especially since you'll go to jail. But even if you're not going to jail, like, here's my perspective, okay? Mm-hmm. People are just doing their thing. Let them do their thing. If it's a good fit to collaborate with them, like get them on a podcast and talk to them, then do that. You both win. But if you want to take from them and steal from them, that's not good. It doesn't make sense. I'm making my mind worse. I'm making my life worse when I could be investing that time and energy in collaborating and still creating value. Plenty. I don't need to steal to do good, to make money, to live life. Like, money's not going to be my bottleneck in life. I think it's going to be about the values I can follow. Mm-hmm. Like, can I go to bed at night and be like, yeah, I did what I wanted to do today. And today I know I'm going to sleep like a baby because we had this conversation. Like, every day that I have a podcast, it's an easy day to go to sleep. Really.
That's it.
That's my life's calling, dude.
Okay. That's fucking good, then.
Yeah. I got to just keep doing it every day.
As you can find what puts you to sleep. That's great.
And I'm already so happy because MTest's dad texted him saying, I know you better now after this podcast episode. So I know that I'm having a positive impact and I'm enjoying what I do in the moment, intrinsically. It's really fun. And I hired an editor because I could tell that editing the episodes was blocking me. I was procrastinating. I was struggling.
Oh, editing sucks.
So now he's doing it, and that's great. And I'm working on the thumbnails, and that was blocking me, but I got better. I can make basic thumbnails now, so I'll keep doing that. So just bit by bit, I will build all the skills necessary. I'll learn to be a better interviewer. I will buy equipment to film in person. I will learn to travel to Boston and see you and talk to you in person, things like that. It's gonna happen, dude. Trust.
That would be fucking crazy.
Dude, Chris Williamson.
That'd be the first time you'd be shit-faced, I'll tell you that.
I'd be shit-faced. No.
Yeah,
Good luck getting me to drink. You'd have to use violence. Yeah.
Okay.
You think you can do it with just social pressure?
You just say like you're gonna have to use violence. Okay, that's what I have to do.
Well,
you're just setting the parameters right there.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'll have to bring a gun or something. Like, what the hell?
Okay, you just set the parameters higher.
Now you'll bring a gun. I just keep escalating.
Keep raising the level here.
Oh my god.
The answer's still gonna be yes.
It's just how far you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to like bring freaking 50 armed guards, and you're like,
the answer is
okay,
okay, I will. That's the answer. That makes it easier than World War fucking 3.
We just start World War 3 over, like whether I drink alcohol or not when I visit.
Fraglin doesn't want to drink, and he's coming to Boston. No, he's fucking dead.
Jeez. So yeah, just to wrap up on the editor partner thing, he's a really good partner for me. Like you said, find someone in your life who's the opposite of you. He is the opposite of me. He's reliable. He likes deadlines. He set up the Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, and we've been sticking to it. He likes to follow up with me. He does what he says he will do, right? These are all things I need to build over time as well. On the other hand, I'm innovative.
You don't feel you're reliable?
I'm not. See, I'll tell you I'll do one thing, and I'll do like 10 different things that come up in my head, and they're all good things, but then I won't do the one thing I said I would do, right? So I'm not good with checklists and to-do lists. And this is part of the INTP thing, right? It's just, but I'm learning to be better. I'm using my calendar more. I'm scheduling things. But look, this kind of conversation, like I hate plans. I love to just freewheel it and see what happens.
Trust me, I am the same way. Like,
and your wife is probably the opposite.
Oh yeah, I love spontaneity. My wife hates it. And I love just deciding something randomly, like we're doing this today. Boom, we're going. We're doing it.
Right.
That's
You're impulsive.
My favorite.
I'm similar. Like I really like having an impulse and then doing it. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm the type of person, if I say this is happening this day, it's happening that day.
Right. So you are both reliable and spontaneous.
Yes.
And I think I can build that. Yeah.
So if somebody says, I need somebody to help me do this X day, I'll be there.
Right. If you say you'll be there, you'll be there.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands about it.
It's only like if you literally get in a car crash and you're unconscious or you die or something.
Yeah,
then you're
I'm not conscious. If I'm dead,
if you're conscious,
then I won't be there. Yeah.
If there's a hurricane, you'll be walking through it. You'll be driving through it. You'll figure out a way. Rain, sleet, snow, you're there. Yeah. I understand.
So it's a dichotomy to that, but like,
and I think that's why I scheduled the 5 a.m. podcast. Because it was a test for myself. I'm like, am I going to make it?
5 a.m. podcast?
That was the one last episode, M-Test. 5 a.m. and then 8 a.m.
Is that what time he could make it?
He was 2 p.m. for him, so yeah, he's Europe. So it was a good time for him. But he did say he can do later. I think I just said 5 a.m. is fine, and then I made it happen. Because I wanted to test myself. I want to see, if I make a promise, can I keep it?
You wanted to see if you could do it at 5 a.m. and be like, I give a shit what you're saying. Fucking pass.
No, I was actually, dude, we're going to watch that episode together tomorrow.
I am going to watch that episode for sure now.
Because you're going to like, dude, I felt so connected to him, and he's going to bring his mom on the podcast if she's willing to come on. I want to talk to his dad. I want to talk to him again. Like, he had really good advice, and I learned a lot.
I'm so excited that you're doing a podcast. Like, this is exciting to me.
I'm glad I started it.
I'm like, this is what he was meant to do.
Yeah, and it took me a year and a half longer than you to find out.
Yeah, it's like I love when somebody finds something that they know what they want. Like, that's what they're doing anyway.
Yeah,
that's what you were doing anyway.
I was doing it for fun as a hobby in MMOs.
Free, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Just share it with the world.
This. Yeah, exactly. Do this. And I was just like, fucking motherfucker. He's just fucking giving this out for free and fucking weirding people out.
Yeah, because no one expects it.
Yeah, nobody wants a podcast fucking randomly. Like, you're like, I'm on Discord. Like, I would like to do an interview with you right now. Just fucking, like, talk to you for fucking 2 hours. And, like, no, get the fuck away from me, you weirdo.
Dude, you have no idea how many times that happened in my old guild, because literally, there was a guy who described it to Upper Echelon. So Upper Echelon is the YouTuber who ran the guild. I ended up taking over the guild and then leaving and forming my own guild. But basically, the guy who described it, he said, like, okay, Fraglin will come into a channel and he'll just say, like, hey, can I chat with you for, like, 5-10 minutes? I just want to ask you some questions about the guild, understand your needs, and make the guild fit for you. And he says, and then 3 hours later, you have no idea what you've been talking about, but you've been enjoying every second of it. And you don't want to stop. That was his perspective.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. And he was a single dad of 5 kids, and I asked him a bunch of questions, and we discussed homeschooling and parenting and all that.
Yeah, because you ask questions. People love answering questions about themselves. And you're doing that. And then, like, people are like, the fuck am I doing here? Like, what? I'm fucking on Discord just shooting the shit, and this guy's asking a bunch of questions. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm more defensive than most people. So I'm like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, does he have a podcast? Like, am I on a podcast right now?
That was a year and a half ago. That's what you thought.
No, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm like, you're a fucking retard. Fucking get a podcast, dude.
Dude, I can't believe it was obvious to you, but not to me. But yeah, and here's the thing I find so many people don't realize is that find the thing you love to do. Don't just do the job that pays the most or that your parents want you to do or that you think you have to do that because you went to university for it or whatever. Just find the thing you love. You have 50 plus years to do it. Don't waste time. Right? Like, don't live with regrets.
That time, if you're not making money doing what you don't want to do, don't make money and be good at the thing you do want to do. And then when you're so fucking good at it,
you will make money.
Yeah, you'll make money.
Dude, with the internet, you can literally create 1 million new jobs that don't even have a name yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The career options are infinite.
Yeah. People are making money doing stupider shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people showing their asshole on TikTok right now, fucking making millions.
I thought TikTok censored that. No, they're okay with it?
No, you can show your asshole on TikTok. Go ahead.
Really? I didn't know that.
Nah, I just made that up.
You just made that up. Okay.
I was just trying to make you show your asshole on TikTok.
Yeah. Maybe I can show my dad's clean asshole on TikTok. Let's see.
Yes, show your dad's.
Dude, my dad's going to listen to this episode and he's just going to be like, what the fuck kind of son did I raise?
He's just talking about my asshole the whole fucking time.
He was just going like,
he's gonna fucking, honestly, he's gonna go home and he's gonna kick the bidet over and fucking break it. He's gonna be like, my fucking son just wants me to have a clean asshole. He's calling me a dirty asshole motherfucker. And he's gonna kick his bidet down and be like, my son thinks I have a dirty asshole. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Oh my god. You should check out the second episode with my uncle as well, because that's the episode in which I take a shower in the middle of the episode. So you see me come back with more confident and like a shirt, fresh clothes.
Yeah.
And clean in the shower, asshole. Clean asshole for sure.
Yeah.
And in the shower, I decided to quit my job. That was the episode. That was the moment. And that episode
in the shower, you just had to quit your job.
Yeah. And that's the episode. It was we started at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. sorry, and ended at 4 a.m. because he was in India. So he was 12 hours ahead of me. So my night was his morning. So actually he's in a really cool setting. The camera, he's using his phone, but the camera's like in his garden on the roof of his house with sunlight. So yeah, I think you'll like it. That was one of my favorite episodes visually in terms of the background for him and everything.
Ah, shit. So your uncle is your dad's brother?
Brother. And my dad is over there right now. And funnily enough, they had just had a fight the night before or something. Yeah. Him and his wife, my uncle and his wife. And she took all the alcohol out of the house. So even my dad is not drinking now. And I'm like, good shit,
Just one night, though.
He's smoking less. No, she took it out like permanently. They have to go out to drink. So they're just making it harder.
But they're going out to drink.
They're going to go out to drink.
Like,
alcoholics.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, that's it. That's done.
Yes, I'm not going to drink.
Yeah, the wife took it out of the house. We're over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved hearing their stories. I love hearing your stories. I really want to do an interview with you and Melissa. Just ask her if she's comfortable with it. I think that's why she was really uncomfortable, because she
That
wants a
would
plan,
be
a structure.
something. That would
And if
that would
I
be
can,
something to
I
try
can
to
give you
get her.
talking points. I can give you talking points to help her feel comfortable.
I put it this way: I'm the talker in the relationship.
Yeah, I noticed she was like really tensed. I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah.
she almost feels like
hmm
looking towards me to say what she's going to say, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you say, but like, she's more reserved than I am.
Is she more worried about what people think of her?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is I seem to be good at, within the first 15 minutes of a one-on-one with someone, getting them to forget that the cameras are on. And also getting myself to forget.
She did fine for longer than I thought she was going to do. Let's
Right.
put it that way.
You
Like,
had lower expectations.
yeah, I had lower expectations. She
Mhm.
is not good with on the spot, like
Mhm.
face to face shit. Like, she
Mhm.
has a hard time with
What does she
talking with
prefer?
someone
Like
else.
asynchronous, like writing? Or
I'm not talking to human beings.
so
That's
like
what she
emails? Or no?
prefers. No,
Oh,
like
so she just
not at all.
prefers,
Like,
so just things. She
yeah,
likes interacting with ideas and things.
yeah, just she's not a people person.
How does she deal with her daughter?
It's in the house. So like,
Okay.
I'm the only person that she's really herself with.
Okay.
And then like, she slowly interacts with other
Acclimates.
people. Like,
Okay.
very slowly
So
gets
it could
to
take
interact.
years to
Yeah,
build a
it
relationship. Yeah.
takes a while.
So when did
But
you meet her? What age were you?
fuck. 19.
Okay, so it was around 17, 18 you regretted the things you were saying. When did you make that shift and start saying what was on your mind and not regretting it? Full sending it. No regrets. Was it before or after Melissa?
16.
16 is when you made the change.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
I was definitely me
Hmm.
when I met her.
And she liked you.
Yeah.
I think most people, that's the thing, right? I think if people meet me today, there would be many people who like me because I'm just being myself, right?
I didn't care.
You didn't care.
So it was like, I'm
Mhm.
me. You don't like me.
We
Then
just
you
move
don't
on.
like me. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll go find someone else. Yeah,
then it is what
it's
it
fine.
is. I've
That's been
already had
my
enough
mentality.
experiences with
Yeah.
people where I was just like, it is what it is. You know,
hmm
like, you don't like me, then you don't like me. We'll move on. Because I've been heartbroken so many times beforehand
hmm
of people not liking me when I tried to be me. And then you just get over it. There's eventually like a point where you're just like, you know what? Why am I getting so
Right.
upset when people don't like me?
Yeah.
And
It
it's like,
doesn't
I
matter.
like me.
Exactly.
So why am I getting so bothered by other people not liking me? And then you just get over it. You just
Yeah.
let it go. And
Yeah.
you're like, I'll be me.
Going
Because
back to,
my friends like me.
yeah, you
You know
like
what
you,
I'm
your
saying?
friends
Like,
like
yeah,
you, your wife likes you.
yeah, exactly. Like
You,
you
what else do
start
you
getting,
need?
yeah, exactly.
Your
Then
colleagues like you.
you start
Planet
get to a
Smasher likes
point.
you.
Yeah, you get to a point where,
Mhm.
oh, the people I like me.
So why does anyone else matter?
Why am I forcing other people to like me? Why do I care if other people like me? And
Right.
then it gets easier.
Right. I think I'm only starting to realize this now at 27. At 22, I definitely wanted people to like me. At 25, I definitely wanted people to like me. But
Yeah.
now I'm connecting with my values. I think my two core values, curiosity and honesty.
Yeah. And
And yeah,
honesty feels better every time.
for me it does.
Yeah.
For me it definitely
Like
does. Because lies are
on,
just annoying to keep in your head. 2 books on reality, 3 books on reality, 5 stories in tandem, different endings.
well, you don't feel good about it. Like, if
Yeah.
somebody likes their lies, how fun is that? It's not you.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? You're creating a false narrative of you.
Right. And
So they
that's the
don't like
thing.
you. They like the fake you just created.
Exactly. And so you get into a long term relationship and you're lying to get there.
Mhm.
And at some point you turn back and you're like, do they love me or do they love my persona?
Exactly.
And you don't know. And it's kind of like some of the struggle that you might have if you are rich or if you have other things that people want. And you're like, are they with me because I'm rich or because they like me as a person? Like if I was poor, broke tomorrow. Jeffrey Archer had a nice short story about this that I read when I was like 8 years old. I loved his novels and short
Mhm.
stories. My dad had a whole bookshelf full of them. And he basically wrote about a guy who was rich and then just like faked bankruptcy. He faked losing all his money and he wanted to see who would stick by him, who would still be his friend, who would still be his family. And almost everybody left him. But like there was one guy who still came and played chess with him, one of his friends. Like, and he was like, that's the guy I'm going to give my inheritance to when I die. And he did. And right, like, yeah, it's just, and I want to build those relationships with people. The ones based on who they are, not what they have.
Right. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. Like if you were homeless and you could do podcasts with me, I'd have you on. I'd love to do that.
Well, I'd probably be more amazing if I was homeless. I mean, definitely more exciting stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, my story stopped at an early age when I got my shit together. But yeah.
I think you still have interesting stories.
Oh, I for sure do. But I'm just like they stop at a certain point. Like
they got less wild.
Yeah. My like I met my wife and it was like, oh, I gotta get my shit together.
Yeah.
To keep this.
Right.
And I'm still me. But it's like, let's tune this in and learn some shit. And that's where my relationship went. Like I met my wife and I learned how to be an adult.
Right. And I'm learning how to be an adult now.
I could have stayed a kid. I know how to be a kid. Trust me. That's easy for me. You know, being a childlike man, that's fucking simple. I can do that any time of the day. I can switch right into that immediately. Trying to be an adult, that was a tougher option. And then like plus my wife already had a kid from a previous relationship. So
was she 19 as well when you met her, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I became a stepdad immediately.
So does that mean that you have like a 20-year-old child?
I have a 27-year-old child.
Wait, I'm a 27-year-old child.
Yeah.
You have two 27-year-old childs. No, one is a stepchild and one is me.
One stepchild. Well, yeah. but my 27-year-old stepchild has a kid.
Holy shit, you're a granddad at 43. You're a step-granddad. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And Melissa is a grandmother.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So she was a teen mom. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you could get her to open up, her story's pretty fucking wild too. But
I mean, yeah, if she's open to it. I think I'm open enough and non-judgmental because like she said, she felt like she could be herself with you and not with other people. And I think that's the feeling I create for people as well. And I also create it for myself because the more into it we get, the more I feel the same, that I can be myself. And that's why I said all this crazy shit with you that I wouldn't have said with most people, right? But we got into the context. So
yeah, you get into the weeds.
You get into the weeds with people. Yeah. All right, so let's just wrap up over the next 10 minutes. I want to let you go to bed. I can hear that my brother and his wife are back as well. I want to let them go to sleep.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fucking going on in the next room. I hear you.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe.
Let's listen.
It's too... Dude, I want to soundproof my room.
Put the microphone up to the
No, they're just prepping. They haven't gone to bed yet. They just got home and they're like putting stuff away, I guess.
All right.
But okay, so last 10 minutes, just what... So you've already given a good, important life lesson to the viewers, which is say what's on your mind. You will regret it if you don't. If you don't have the courage to say it, then figure out why you don't have the courage. But think about it, right? Like, because every single time that happens, you're building this stack of regrets that will haunt you for a very long time. And you can resolve them in therapy. You can resolve them yourself. You can go back and try to fix them, and that will help as well. You can write them down. That'll all help. But obviously, the best way to do is just live in a way that you have no regrets. Sometimes you'll have regrets, and that's okay, but just tell people what you think. So yeah, any other advice you have for people?
Any other advice for people? Holy shit.
Let's say gamers. Let's say
putting a fucking lot. That's a lot of shit right there.
I mean, you've been a gamer since you were how old?
I don't know, like 6. Like
seriously, okay, so you've been gaming for 37 years.
Yeah, like
so
you know, playing Nintendo and fucking like ever since video games existed.
Came out. Yeah. So you've been through the ups and downs. You've seen how video games can be a good part of your life, a bad part of your life. You've probably been the gamer who doesn't shower, like me or whatever. Now I shower, but or no, you always showered.
I always showered.
Okay. What were the things that you didn't do? Did you forget to eat? you forget to eat food? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I eat less when I'm gaming for sure, but
Right.
like, I don't know. My biggest, I would say, live life too.
Mhm.
That would be my biggest point for gamers nowadays, because I see gaming used to be just like an outlet
Mm.
for me when I was younger,
Like
and
watching TV a bit. Yeah.
yeah, like
It wasn't like a 12-hour a day thing.
yeah, it wasn't like I'd love to. I'd love
Mhm.
to when it came about. Like, let's say it was a snowstorm and you get like 12 hours of gaming in while the fucking
Yeah.
snowstorm's going or something like that. It'd be fucking amazing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you got to live some life
Mhm.
along with gaming. You can't just
Right.
game.
Mhm.
It's terrible. The fuck are you doing? Oh, that's the
I thought
water.
I've got a straw, dude.
I thought it was like a fucking hookah
You
or
thought I was
something
giving a
like that.
blowjob to the
No,
water?
I thought you were like fucking like doing fucking hits from a bong or something. But like but yeah, just fucking live a little, because like the
Yeah.
games, they're an escape, but like if you don't live any bit of time outside, like I don't care, fucking get some gamer friends in your area
Yeah.
and live some real life, because most people like just live online. They have
That's me.
online friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's you. And like, but like have real friends too.
Yeah.
You got to have real attached with the gaming. You have
Mhm.
to. It's the only one that keeps you mentally like in reality,
Mhm.
so that you can understand that like gamer friends are gamer friends, real friends are real friends.
Mhm.
And are gamer friends any worse? No. But it's a different society you're living in.
Mhm.
It's a different community. Also, at the same time, I was a gamer and I had friends that weren't gamers.
Mhm.
And you got to remember, like gamers sometimes get stuck in the point where, like, yeah, I just fucking beat that game in 3 days and blah 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 blah. And what I always say to my gamer friends in real life, I go,
Mhm.
"Who are you gonna tell that to?" And they go, "What?" It's like, who? What does that accomplishment mean? You know, let's say you got you won the first 2 rounds of PUBG or something like that. Can you go outside
Mhm.
and tell somebody on the street, I won my first 2 rounds of PUBG? Does it mean anything? Put things in perspective.
For other people. Yeah.
Yeah, it
And this
means
is what you
nothing.
were saying
Yeah,
people view as psychopathy. Like
yeah.
you
It
can view multiple
means
viewpoints.
yeah, it
Yeah.
means nothing.
Right.
It's meaningless. So remember that while you're doing it.
Yeah, I think this is just the skill of empathy,
Yeah,
design, marketing. You have to do these things to
yeah,
understand other people's perspective. How do they see what you see? To
yeah.
them, games are like this. To a lot of people, like my colleagues used to ask me, hey, tell me about streaming. What's going on with streaming? I don't understand it. And I just say, well, people play games and they interact with their chat and it's entertainment. It's a form of live entertainment.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But people don't understand it. Yes, and like
They don't get
you
why
just
someone would do that. Why would you watch a stream?
exactly, and it's like the
Yeah,
same times I have the same problems. Like, oh, why would you watch somebody else play Twitch?
right.
And you're like, I don't know, I like watching, somebody play a video game that I never played before. I understand that.
Yeah,
I said, okay, that's a game that I haven't played yet. I want to see if it's a good game.
right.
That's a good
Makes sense.
reason. I've watched variety streamers that they involve you in the community and you feel
Hmm.
like you're getting involved in it. That's good.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's great.
And those ones I get invested in.
And of course, the titty streams. Those are pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
Uh, yeah, I guess. But I mean,
The
this
hot
porn,
tub
this
streams,
porn,
the
this
inflated
Pornhub
balloons.
nowadays, I still don't understand how those
I can
act.
explain parasocial relationships to you the next
I
time we're on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't understand how those work, because like th- that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like I can
yeah.
surf back to Pornhub. I don't need to watch a titty stream.
Part of it is the fantasy of intimacy. But yeah,
I
we can get
I
into that
guess,
next
yeah,
time.
we can get
Yeah,
into that next time. But
yeah,
like
we'll get into that next
I
time.
still I still don't understand those.
Yeah.
But just fucking live some life while
Yes,
gaming.
live some
That's
life.
that's all I that would be my end goal. If it was to gamers, I would say
Hmm.
live some life while
Hmm.
gaming.
Right.
Get involved in something in your community. You can still game.
Yeah.
Just do something else too.
And when you're doing that, don't hold back. B, learn to be more afraid of missing opportunities than of making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important lesson.
Yeah.
That's something I'm working on. Yeah. And I'll just close out by mentioning that M-Test, the last guest, he actually was a gamer, and he said he had been playing the game for 5 years. He failed at his goal of becoming like really professional, high-level professional. He was only playing at like mid-level professional League of Legends. And then he took some time off, and his brother ended up getting him a bartending job. And his brother honestly sounds like you. His brother had an amazing Italian wedding in Italy, and he's like 40 years old. He's quite a bit older than M-Test. And his brother basically chatted up the person who was working at the bar, and he saw that she was overloaded. She was doing too much work. So he said, like, hey, I have a younger brother. He can help you out here if you need help. She said, yeah, I could really use some help. So then he called his brother, and his brother's like, I really don't want to do this. I'm a gamer. Why do I want to? He said, hey, just come down here for a weekend and just do some work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, work at this bar. He's like, I really don't want to do this. But then he remembered he had set a New Year's resolution to try new things that he's scared of. So even though his body was telling him he was scared, he went and he did it, and he bartended. And that changed his life. Because he realized, hey, I can be good socially. I'm good at social stuff.
Nice.
Then he came back to League, and he built his confidence, and he became a coach. And now he's running a business. He's making money coaching in League. He's actually building a good audience. He has 250 people in the Discord who are not abusing the fact that they can type in his announcements channel, because he's bad with Discord, so he hasn't fixed it yet. He told me he'll moderate me so I can fix it. He still hasn't moderated me. So you can tell he's that kind of guy. He's really good at what he does, but he's not aware of the mistakes he's making elsewhere, which is normal. It's fine.
Yeah.
You find other people's
mistakes. Yeah.
Everybody makes. But that's what I told him. You have 250 high trust people who are not abusing the fact you don't have trolls. You don't have toxic people. That's huge. Because from those 250, you can grow it to 5,000 high quality people. But if you have already 1,000 like mixed bad quality, some good quality people, it's really hard to moderate and cut that down. It's messy. So he's already attracted the right kind of audience for him. So he's great. And he teaches mindset stuff and taking responsibility. Because it took him 7 years of life to learn the lessons that he's learned.
Yeah.
And he wants to teach League players those lessons in their first month of League or their first year of League or whatever. Take responsibility for yourself. Don't blame your teammates. Focus on what's in your control. Like you said, you can't control other people. Because all these things really hurt people.
Yeah. See, all it took was a little bit of life experience.
Yeah. Going outside bartending, he said, was...
Yeah.
Yeah, that...
Then he came back. It's just your life. Mm-hmm. Just the bit that you need to interact with other people.
So, Holly, before we close out, I want you to give me an assignment.
Oh, shit.
So, you want me to go to a nightclub? Do you want me to... Give me something that would be the version of bartending, but something I can do in a few hours, like say 3 to 5 hours in a day.
Okay. What, 3 to 5 hours in one day?
In one day, yeah, like in one trip. So the idea is it's something to open up my mind, some new experience. And it better not be hire a hooker or something.
No, I won't go that far.
Yeah.
Because that's I'm not going to make you do something illegal.
Sure. I don't even know if it's illegal here. There might be legal ways to do it. But anyway, go on.
Go to a strip club.
Why?
Just because it's going to be so far out of your comfort zone.
That it might teach me something.
Yep.
And expand my mind. Okay. All right, I'll make it.
You don't have to do anything there. I'm just saying, go.
Just go there. And then how long do you want me to spend there?
As long as you
want
can.
me to... Can I get a podcast? As long as you feel
comfortable.
Can I record a podcast episode with one of the strippers, maybe?
I would guarantee that one of the strippers would do a podcast with you. Guarantee it.
You think they'd expect to get paid, or they do it for free?
They might do it for free. They might have a life story to tell, trust me.
And they'd love to tell it. Okay, dude, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Because you're helping my podcast be better while also trolling me. Yeah. This is great.
Well, I'm not trolling you. I'm telling you, it's an experience that you should try it. It's uncomfortable as fuck. Trust me.
Dude, people are going to be in my Discord.
I don't even want to be. I don't even want to be in a strip club.
Dude, people are going to be in my Discord later.
It's fucking wild.
Okay. People are going to be in my Discord asking me a week later, did you go to the strip club? And I'm going to have to be able to say yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to know that I did it.
Yeah. You better fucking go to the strip club. Just fucking, just try. Just try it. I'd preferably bring a friend. Yeah. If you got a friend to bring with you.
Maybe I can bring my brother.
Yeah. Bring your brother with you. Yeah.
No, but he's married, so I don't think he would go.
It's just a strip club. You're not fucking.
It depends. I'll ask his wife.
Well, yeah. There you go.
I'll ask them both, I mean.
Yeah, it's just it's for science.
Podcast. Yeah, it's for a podcast.
It's for science.
It is. It is, right?
Yeah, it's for science.
Okay. Anyway. But if not him, then I can... Why do you want me to go with a friend? I can ask one of my...
Because you'd be more comfortable.
Oh, I can go with Evan, but he's also married.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
It's
take
just,
Evan.
I'm just saying, you'd be more comfortable with a friend.
A friend.
Just trust me,
Okay.
on your own, it's
It'll be
creepy.
scary.
Yeah.
It's creepy?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, it's creepy for me or creepy for them?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. Because for you to just walk into a strip club, they're gonna be like, "What is this sexy Indian motherfucker coming in here hitting on
I'm
these
not
strippers?"
sexy, dude. Okay,
Dude,
anyway.
sexy,
Okay,
fucking.
rate me out of 10, attractiveness-wise. You're a girl, you're looking at me on the street.
An Indian
First
dude?
impression. Me, just as a guy.
8.
Random guy. 8?
Yeah.
No way. Dude, I
Yeah.
don't have any muscles. I don't have a good hairstyle. I need to shave. I have a neck beard, literally, right?
Yeah, but you got no defections. You get nothing. You're not get nothing going bad for you.
I'm not fat or whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
have
not.
acne or...
Yeah, you're
Okay.
not. You have clean skin, fucking decent facial hair, fucking. You're not fucking bloated.
By the way, dude, I had a unibrow and I had to like use a plucker.
Yeah, there you go. Fucking,
but it
you
worked.
clean it up a little bit, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, interesting.
Walk
Okay,
around
I'll
with
try
a
this.
little bit. Walk around with a little bit more confidence.
I
You'll
think
see what
that's
happens.
like, what is it? Like puff out my chest a little bit, have my shoulders back.
When
I don't
you
know how
look
it
in the
works.
when you look in the mirror, what do you
Mhm.
see yourself?
Like out of 10 or something else?
What do you think you are, and then what do you see yourself? Because every dude, most dudes,
Mhm.
you know, when they say like a woman looks at themselves in the mirror and they're like, fucking, I look like shit, fucking 4, you know, and they could be like an
That's how I
8.
feel about myself.
Yeah,
That's how I feel about
most
myself.
dudes, they could be like 5, and they look at themselves in the mirror and they should be like a 9.
Wait, sorry, you mean that they're overestimating
Most,
or
yeah,
underestimating?
most dudes overestimate. You should be
I didn't know that.
overestimating. Yeah.
So you're
You
saying
should be,
most women underestimate and most
yeah,
dudes
most dudes
overestimate?
overestimate.
I
So you
didn't know
should
that.
be overestimating in your head.
How do you know that?
I'm a dude.
So you overestimate yourself?
Oh, of course. I know for a fact I overestimate myself.
Okay, interesting. Most men overestimate.
Yeah.
Because
It
I
took me
guess I've always
so
had...
long to realize how out of shape I was until I was like, you know what? Fucking it hurts to fucking bend down to fucking tie my boots. I was like, I gotta lose some fucking weight.
I
Last
think
time
you
I
told me
talked to
about...
you, I was 210.
Okay, I'm around 60 kilograms.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in pounds.
All right.
Maybe like 120, double it.
I'll look that up. It's probably like fucking light as fuck. But hold on. 60
Okay.
kilograms sounds like what I bench.
Yeah, you could lift me. I need to start working out, and I'm doing some cardio, but not weightlifting.
132. Holy shit, you're light. I mean, what are you packing?
Like what? Body fat wise?
No,
Yeah,
dick.
I can stand up.
Dick.
Dick.
Here we go.
Oh, I don't know. Pretty small, I'd say.
What do you mean pretty small?
Like, I don't know, like this?
When you're
Maybe?
soft? Nobody cares when you're soft. What are you packing when you're hard, dude?
Trying to think. Maybe like this? Something like that.
That's like that.
I don't know what that is. Maybe something like that. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not that
shit.
big. It's pretty small.
Well, girls don't care.
My dad's is way bigger, but I'm not going to talk about that.
That's put that on a tab. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that next time.
No, because I used to shower with my dad when I was a kid, right? So I know how big his dick is.
Every kid did.
Every kid
but you might have a hero complex about your dad's dick. That's what I'm just saying.
No, trust me, it's like 3 times bigger or 4 times bigger. It's seriously, I'm not kidding.
I'm telling you, that's a hero's complex with your
I'm
dad's
not kidding,
dick,
dude.
And we're gonna have that discussion later.
Dude, this is the weirdest episode ever, and I love it.
Oh my god, you're giving me cancer. Fucking.
Dude, I literally just wrote down my dad's dick as a discussion topic.
Yeah, put that in discussion. Pin that shit because we gotta get that one fucking done with. That's
anyway. We've covered basically everything. It was really nice to have you on, Chris / Holliander. Thanks for coming on for this impromptu podcast. We didn't plan this at all. It just happened. I'll record the intro after the fact with a summary of what we discussed. It's going to be very... I need to warn people, like, trigger warning. Like, just be careful.
This isn't how all your podcasts go?
No.
Oh, no. Shit. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah. I can't wait to interview Jason. Help me set it up with him. Yeah.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
All right.
And anyone else.
Later, man.
All right. See you. Have a good night. Bye.